is prohibited. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
I'm about their age. They're still too old.
Live from downtown San Francisco, this is 95.7 The Game.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Warriors This Week. That is Dan Devone, Steven Risotto, a.k.a. Pasta Behind the Glass. My name is Evan Giddings, and we are rocking and rolling from 9 to noon. Now, usually, Dan, you're coming off of 3 hours of sleep. You're flying in from JFK. You're Mr. Coast to coast, east and west, but this week you had a full week in the Bay Area. You had a full week to sit down, and just examine what's been going on.
I am so locked in. I almost called into Sports Talk Radio yesterday, but I wanted to, didn't want to let everyone know that I didn't have a life by calling in the middle of the afternoon. But I am ready to go to talk about them Golden State Warriors. I watched the game. I broke down Steve Kerr's sound. I've been looking at data, crunching numbers, putting in overtime, ready to go today. By the way, I swam this morning, and I jumped at about 6:30, and it's dark. And I don't usually swim when it's dark. So I get to the beach, and I'm about to go into the San Francisco Bay. It's like 47 degrees. I'm half naked. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? Like, what am I trying to prove? This is ridiculous. I'm the only guy standing there. Like, this is makes no sense. Why am I doing this? So I thought about, and I always do this from time to time, I thought about turning around, walking back, take a sauna, take a nice hot shower, right? Maybe throw up some weights, get dressed, and go see my beautiful friend Evan Giddings and do some magic for 3 hours. And this invariably always happens. As I'm standing there contemplating this, out of the darkness comes a woman maybe twice my age, and she's in
60?
in a one piece, and she just swam maybe like a mile and a half.
Oh,
says,
heck yes!
Good morning, and I'm like, really? Like, that woman is going to go a mile and a half, and I'm sitting here thinking about doing the walk of shame and going back and taking a sauna. So of course I had to man up and say hell no, and got hypothermia.
Well, I'm glad you made it here, because I know that walk is, you basically walked to Marin. Like, that, the Dolphin Club is so far away from this building, it's not even funny.
But you're going through North Beach, so you're overly stimulated.
Yeah, but the other night when we broke bread and you were on we walked from what felt like Pacific Heights down to the water, up and back. I didn't even know where the clubs that you were describing were at. It is so freaking far how far you walk in the morning, in addition to obviously the swimming that you do. But while we're on the subject of things that we may or may not do again, I think I might be done with concerts for a while. I think I might be done.
What happened?
Dude, so...
Wait, who'd you see last night? I forgot.
Last night I saw a DJ called Fisher.
All right.
And it was the first show at the Moscone Center, which is this massive hangar, right? It's kind of similar. Have you been to like the Midway or Pier 70? So it's this massive,
low ceiling though, right?
Yes, massive space. lots of different lights. It was a great show. The actual guy was great. But the kids, man, there are so many kids. There had to be at least 25,000 people at this place inside this building, which, by the way, I think is supposed to be the setting for Radio Row come Super Bowl week.
Oh, wow.
And it's perfectly set up. Like when we went to Las Vegas a couple of years ago when the Niners were in the Super Bowl, we were in this big convention hall in Las Vegas. I think it was the MGM Grand or somewhere close, but it was a similar type of size. So the first thing that I'm looking around is, okay, I can see Pat McAfee show over there. They're going to have Jim Rome on this side. Rich Eisen's going to be here. This will be great. I'm walking around, and then it starts to get packed and more packed.
Ooh.
And just sardines start. I'm not even far in the front. My days of being in the mosh and being towards the stage are done. We're over that. But everywhere I look, there's no facial hair. There's no facial hair anywhere in this room. And it's because every single kid is 18 or 19 years old. And Dan, God love them. They have youthful energy. They have spunk. They have a future. It's like Pasta, but he's everywhere. Pasta is jumping through, running, and I don't know what these kids are on these days. All I know is in the middle of the show, this kid had bumped into some big crew, and he gets thrown right in between me and my friends who are sitting there just minding our business, enjoying the music, having a good time. This kid gets thrown through, gets up, and tries to incite this brawl in between basically the crowd that we're with. And I just back up and say, yo, Switzerland. I am Switzerland right now. You, who are probably just above 18 years old, need to back up. You, who are 21 years old and can barely do anything in life, you need to go the opposite way. And I just tried to play peacemaker, got the hell out of the way, and I'm here to tell you, Dan, I am done. I'm done with the kids in concerts. I can't do it anymore.
So this is Fisher, the acclaimed Australian house and techno DJ producer.
Yeah, mate.
Did he hit Losing It last night?
He did hit Losing It last night.
So this guy apparently, okay, so the demo is about, what would you seriously say, 18 to 25, younger?
Well, so this is the thing. So Fisher's...
How old do you have to be to get a ticket to go to one of these? Can you be...
Well, I didn't realize this was an 18 and up event.
Oh, all right.
Because we got tickets through other friends. And
are they selling alcohol? Or?
Yeah, they do sell alcohol, but I'm assuming everyone just did it before and came in absolutely trashed. But Fisher's almost 40 years old, I think. I mean, like, he is someone who I knew in college, right? He was beginning to get big, I don't know, 2015, 16, 17. So I thought it'd be fun. And then I come to realize that this is how I know that I'm getting to that point, Dan. Mark Willard's kid was at the concert.
No.
I didn't see him, but I knew that he was there. And it made a lot of sense because, and I'm sure Abe was far more behaved than a lot of these other young cats, but dude, I'm getting old, man.
That's pretty wild.
I'm getting old, man. I think he just graduated, so he's probably 18 or 19.
The big question was Willard there?
No, Mark Willard. No, he had an issue. He had an issue with people going to see Fisher. It was kind of like in jest is what's bugging me yesterday. He had people going to see an act that you can't see because he's a DJ, but he's out on a stage so far away from you, like you can't really see the act, and he's not obviously playing any instruments because he's on the ones and twos.
You know, I'm down with Mark on that. That makes no sense.
However, they had screens all across this massive hangar, basically, that were on him. So you could kind of see him wherever you were.
Yeah, that doesn't work. Wow. Yeah, I'm with Willard on that.
It was great music, though.
But isn't it, you know what, it sort of reminds me when I don't know this Fisher guy, but it's interesting how guys, in 40 is so young, but how they relate to a younger demo, right? Like, I'm assuming he's still perceived as being cool and being trendy.
His performance is very energetic.
Yeah.
And actually, he's a really big surfer. Like, if you go check out his Instagram, yeah, he's one of the first or second videos is him barreling this, I don't know, kind of like, let's say 8 to 10 foot wave. It's pretty impressive. But his whole aura is energy. And he's this, kind of loud, rambunctious Australian cat. He's pretty cool, though. I dig him.
It's sort of like, are you familiar with the skateboarder Rob Rob Dyrdek.
Diedrich?
Is it
Diedrich from Robin Big.
Yeah,
RP Big.
Yeah, that was God. That has to predate you. That was during my days.
Yeah, but
I was watching that.
It was still on
stuff.
MTV though.
Yeah, so he was a guy, and he still post that had a reality show that wasn't a reality show, but he was hosting a show. But his whole thing was he was still wearing skater gear, hat backwards. He was an MTV star hosting these shows. And he was relating, obviously, to a demo much, much, much younger than him because he's like pushing 50. He's like over 50 years of age.
51.
So that's pretty amazing. Does he still have a show on MTV? Can you check?
He used to be on Ridiculousness, but that just ended.
That's right.
That just ended?
Pretty wild.
I believe it just ended after like 20-plus seasons.
That was a great show. By the way, over under 51 and a half years, Dan Devone.
I'll take the under on that. Come on, man. What are we doing here? I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy who can relate to the 18-year-old, right?
Flem?
Actually, you know what?
I think it's under.
I do well. I think I do well with the younger demographic.
Now, why do you think that?
Just because I'm immature.
Well, when we broke bread earlier this week, you got a little taste of it. But you're the Rob Dyrdek of 95.7 The Game.
By the way, so we're coming out of a place there, Pasta. And
Which one?
Mr. GPS here loses his rig, so we go walking a mile and a half in the wrong direction. You want to know why it took so long for us to get to the next destination? Is my man here, my guide dog, is taking me, south when we needed to go north. So let's get into the Warriors.
Where was this? Oh, I was watching there's a new Eddie Murphy documentary on Netflix. It's really good. And you just reminded me. In the documentary, he admits that his favorite television show to watch, Eddie Murphy, Delirious, Raw, Saturday Night Live, Eddie Murphy's favorite TV show is Ridiculousness.
Really?
Yes, because it's just a bunch of clipped up crazy videos. Yeah. And they all have themes, and they go through and talk about them. But Eddie Murphy loves all these, like, basically TikTok, I would say pre-TikTok setup for all these crazy videos.
Yeah, my Instagram feed sometimes gets, for whatever reason, whatever algorithm gets just infiltrated with that. And I find myself just like kind of amused and stimulated for a longer periods of time than I should admit to, that I'm just sitting there pulsing through one video after the other. And it's just the stupidest, most ridiculous thing. People either falling down or just running into each other. But the problem is that I have these days, and Pasta, you're going to have to deal with this because it's targeted towards your generation, is that these days I'm having a hard time distinguishing what's real and what's AI.
Yeah.
Like we're getting to that point where it's like, okay, I'm not exactly sure. That looks pretty amazing and pretty believable, but...
Well, we were doing this exercise, I think it might have been when we were at the cafeteria. We're getting ready to watch the Seahawks and... as I transition, the Warriors and the Suns game on Thursday. And we were going around the table and just putting who people's name were into ChatGPT. Because a lot of the hosts at the station, and one of them was from a music station, she hosts in the mornings on Live 105, they all have personalities, they've all been written about, there's information about them on the internet. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to just go in and say, who is R.C. Weiser? Who is Matt Steinmetz? Who is Dan Devone? You put it into ChatGPT, and the things that pop out are quite surprising because some of them are pretty accurate. Other ones, I'm like, are you sure you're actually on the internet? This doesn't sound like you at all. So AI is one of those things we found out earlier this week is it is usable and serviceable, but you got to fact check it. That's the problem, I think, with a lot of the pastas that were running around Moscone Center last night. The fact-checking part, I feel like as we get older, the younger generations are not going to do as much of it.
There's a friend of mine, and I just spoke with him this morning, and he's brilliant. I think he's a former professor at Stanford. Now he's like an adjunct professor at Cal. And he just laid it out. He's like, Dan, buy land, man, because this thing is imminent. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're all going to be survivalists. We're going to be in the wilds, and we're going to be fighting each other for land, energy, and water. We're not going to be fighting the robots. The robots will have taken over, or AI will have taken over. We are going to be the Ted Kaczynskis of the world and just living off the land and trying to take care of our own, being our families or ourselves. That's the sort of cryptic future that he just laid out. Like, that's apparently where it is that we're headed.
Well, that reminds me.
Thanks to OpenAI.
No, there's this guy back in 2018. Was it T. Boone Pickens? Yeah,
Oklahoma
He tried
State.
to buy all the water. He's trying to buy all the water. You can't own water. Well, you can.
T. Boone Pickens, I dealt with him back in the day.
Of course you did.
Well, no. So he's also an investor. So when I was dealing with the concussion tool way back before concussions became the sort of epidemic that it turned into, and I had a conversation with him. And he's a huge booster at Oklahoma State. I want to say he has something to do with Oklahoma State. Either he's an alumnus, and he's responsible for?
Mike Gundy?
Recruiting our favorite Fox radio host, who's also a basketball coach.
Gottlieb?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he just stepped down from the radio gig.
Oh, well, that was a matter of time.
It should have never happened in the first place. Wait, Pasta, we have a call already?
Let's go to it.
Yeah, we have a call already.
Better way to get us on track.
Yeah, I was going to say, we said about 3 words about the Warriors this morning. Let's get out to D.C., our favorite capital. What's up, D? Good morning, man. How you doing?
What's going on? Dan Devone, what's up?
What up, D? Kick us off.
Hey, Howie, you think you're smart, huh, Howie? You think you're smart. Every time Dan Devone opened his mouth to say something about the Warriors, for whatever reason you try to throw him off. Why are you doing that? Is it because you're tired of the losing, man? Come on, bro. You know we have a lot of energy to burn. Let's go.
D, I got 3 hours to kill with this guy. You kidding me? You tried dealing with him for 1.
You're not smart, Howie. You're not smart.
I love it.
My man.
All right, man. Let me let you guys speak, man. Go ahead.
What do you got, D?
Yeah, we're waiting on you.
Hey, man. Listen. The Warriors are in trouble. First of all, I've been warning you guys about Draymond for years. They should have let go of Draymond since after the punch. But Laker, for whatever reason, decided to keep this dude around. And that, to me, is a sign of an organization that's in disarray, right? They need multiple trades to fix this problem. They need at least 3 or 4 players, man. So how are they going to do that? I don't know. They're going to have to find a way to get rid of J.K. and clean up all this doggone midgets they have on the roster. But Lakers needs to step in and allow the GM to do his job. If the GM is shackled by Kerr and shackled by Lakers, there's no way he can implement the things that he wants to implement. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Lakers needs to take a good look at himself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm the problem. I'm the reason why we wasted those draft picks, those lottery picks on youngsters who were not ready to ball. I'm the reason why the roster is currently as small as it is. I'm the reason why it is depleted of talent. So I need to step out the way and let people do their jobs. Because to be honest with you, Lakers hasn't been, ever since Jerry West left the organization, this organization has been going backward. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there and let you guys discuss.
No, D, hold on. So I heard the inbox of the owner is open. So if you want to send an email and voice these opinions personally, that's an option.
Oh, believe me, I've sent him several emails. I've checked him out on Twitter. I've been doing that for at least 6 years. Unfortunately, this dude has never done what he needs to do to fix the problem. Unfortunately, but for him to claim that he wants to win, he's doing a terrible job at trying to win because he's been disrespecting Steph Curry for years. That needs to stop, bro. You cannot have a mega star like that on your roster for you to decide to treat him the way he's treating them. That does not make any sense. Surrounding Steph Curry with nothing but a bunch of G-leaguers and also dudes who are too raw to play. That's wrong, man. That's wrong.
I got you, D. Well, I'll see what I can do with Joe. All right. Well, all right. Off of that, Dan. What is the biggest problem right now? You've had a week to survey the land
we can start with Draymond.
Listen to the talk shows and all these yapping heads on 95.7 The Game, and then blabbering about what's going on with the Warriors. What's your solution?
Well, let's start with Draymond. Okay. I think that's a good jumping off point. And he mentioned Draymond, and he also mentioned trades. So let me just throw this back at you. Is there any way? Are we white gloving Draymond? Is he in the Steph Curry sort of pantheon of like, no, he's exiting stage left with Kerr, and he's going off to the sunset with Steph Curry. Is there any chance that his name is in conversations for potentially getting dealt in the next month and a half?
This is the first time in the first year in which I would respond yes.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to this season, not that he was untouchable, but Draymond Green was ultimately valuable to this team because I thought he gave you the best chance to win. I think he can still do a lot of the things that he used to do, but he's doing them less frequently than ever. And that's why I don't think he's going to get traded, but you absolutely have to consider it at this point, I think.
I'm with you because the juice now is just not worth the squeeze. The defense is still good, but it has to be exceptional in order for this to make sense because he's not giving you anything offensively on a team that is, 27th or in the bottom tier in terms of collective offense. And so having a guy that can't shoot and allowing the guy that is defending him to sag off and essentially help out on Steph or whomever, it's not worth it if he has clearly lost a step or two defensively. If he's no longer that guy on the defensive end, and if he's no longer that guy in terms of all of the other things that he brings to the table for the Golden State Warriors, then it's clearly time for him to go. And I would think that he, of all people, would understand that this is just business at the end of the day. You have to understand that.
Yeah, and I think we're going to figure out between now and January 15th, or really February 15th when the deadline is up, if that's the solution. I was looking into some of the numbers yesterday before the show, and because I wanted to figure out, I know that Draymond he's always been offensively challenged, especially the last few years. But to your point, what he did defensively felt like it always made up for that. Well, this team, you're right. The issue is their offense, and the numbers would back that up. They are right now 22nd in offense and 4th actually in defense. It's crazy to think about. And Draymond's a big reason for that. But he is among starting players or players that have started 20 or more games this year. His offensive rating is the worst in basketball. So to your point, he's not a threat. And Draymond he's still, I think, a good defensive player. But he's a defensive specialist at this point in his career. And defensive specialists generally don't play starting minutes. Unless, of course, you have a ton else surrounding them, which the Warriors don't. And that, to me, is kind of the larger issue I have watching this team. And it reminds me of last year's. There's too many specialists. There's players who are offensively challenged, defensively challenged, limited in some capacity. And there's really only one guy, obviously, that's able to carry this team night in and night out, and that's Steph Curry. But if he has an off night like he did against Phoenix, well, then you're vulnerable in that game as well. And that's why I think it's frustrating to watch the last 3 games. Last time we spoke was after Minnesota, but then the Portland game happens where Steph scores 48. You lose. Steph doesn't have a good game. You hold a team under 100. You still lose. And it feels like it's something that's biting the Warriors every single night. But I am with you that Draymond is a guy that, especially after turning the ball over 13 times in the last 2 games, you got to look at and wonder, is he going to retire a Warrior?
Well, I
don't know.
I want to get into. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was just thinking about Clay, and we always thought Clay would retire a Warrior.
They don't want that to happen again. I think the whole Clay thing. Clay has turned into an angry old man. I told you he went after Miami's bench the other day, a bunch of rookies who weren't even in the league for 3/4 of his career.
Well, that's the thing is they're like the kids who were at the Fisher concert last night, Dan. They're chirping. He's got to let them know who he is.
Yeah. All right. I think when it comes to Draymond, there's a lot I want to get into Draymond, actually, especially as it relates to that game against the Phoenix Suns. By the way, I got the pre and the post, speaking of the Phoenix Suns, coming up tonight.
Oh, yeah?
5:30 tip.
Oh, I can't wait for him to win, and you got to walk everything back we're going to talk about these next 2.5 hours.
The one thing I think you have to take into account, and let me just ask you, is there anything there to this? And that is when we talk about Draymond Green, it's sort of the immeasurables, right? It's the intangibles. If you trade him, do you lose, quote unquote, the personality of the team? sort of the mother hen, sort of your enforcer, the guy who was the character behind this Warrior team for so many years as far as those big games, that he would step up, and a guy that would provide sort of the defense or the hard foul and let people know that the Warriors and Steph Curry and company are not going to be pushed around. Is something like that obviously, I know you're a stat guy, that you can't see on a piece of paper. Is that something that you have to take into account in losing and or trading someone like that of Draymond Green?
Well, whether you're a stat guy or not, it's easy when at the 3:47 mark of the fourth quarter against Phoenix, Draymond Green checks into the game and throws it to the other team. 2 points, ends up being the difference in the game. It's like, now, did he cost him the game on that play? No. But when Draymond used to check into a game to close, he helped him close. And lately, he's been costing them games. I mean, you cannot turn the ball over 20 times, a quarter of which belongs to one Draymond Green, give up 30 points in a game you only allowed 99, and expect to win. Like, that's the problem, is we're getting to the point where I'm wondering whether Draymond is worth it anymore. And I've always felt like he has. And he could bounce back tonight. He could have a good game. But those games are becoming less and less frequent. And this is a team that is largely, devoid of talent, especially elite talent compared to the other teams in the West. So you got to be buttoned up every single night. And you got to be at least consistent. And Draymond Green, he hasn't been consistent this season.
I do want to tease that I know everybody's going after him with the turnovers. Obviously, part of it is on him, but it's also on somebody else that's the real culprit in this.
Well, maybe Joe in San Jose wants to bring that up on the other side, but we got to hit a break. 888-957-9570. Dan Devone, Evan Giddings, Warriors this week. We're taking you up until noon. Your calls all ahead on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibbs for Safeway. Happy holidays from Safeway. Enjoy 9 days of savings with weekly mailer deals from December 17th through December 25th. Signature Select Classic Ham Shank Half, like Dibbs' golf game, or whole, bone in, 87 cents per pound while supplies last, limit 1. Also, green asparagus, just $1.99 per pound, limit 4 pounds. You know the green, that's what you're aiming at.
No doubt. Lucerne, shredded, sliced, or chunk cheese, 6 to 8 ounce sizes, or Philadelphia cream cheese, 8 ounce bricks, like your jumper, all just $1.99 each, limit 6 items. Wow. Land O'Lakes, 16-ounce butter, or Kerrygold butter, 7.5 to 8 ounce sizes, $3.99 each, limit 4 items.
All right, we're good here, 1 for 1. These and other great deals are available in the For You section on the Safeway app. You can clip the coupons from the weekly mailer and present them at checkout, or download them to your For You account in the Safeway app. We will see you in the aisles.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge.
Big props to this team.
Some decisions are a win-win, like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Introducing Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business. With $2,500 in annual value, it's the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member of FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Ready to shoot your shot? Join the Alameda County team and make a real impact. With strong support, expert training, and flexible schedules, this is your chance to lead and grow. Don't sit on the sidelines. Apply now at acjobs.org. Alameda County, our community, your purpose.
You know, covering Bay Area sports for years, I've seen athletes go through it all. The highs, the lows, and the pain that comes with getting knocked down. But when it's not just a game, when you're the one injured, or when tragedy strikes someone you love, that's where Beam Law comes in. Beam Law is the Bay Area's go-to personal injury law firm. Whether it's a car accident, a serious injury, or a wrongful death, they're there to shoulder the legal burden so you can focus on what truly matters: rebuilding, recovery, and taking care of your family. Beam Law is local, and they win, with millions recovered for clients across the region. That's why SF Weekly voted them Best of the Bay 4 times. If you've been hurt or lost someone because of someone else's negligence, call Beam Law at 415-523-5555. 415-523-5555. That's 415-523-5555, or visit hurtinthebay.com. That's hurtinthebay.com, because it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Beam Law, they've got your back, Bay Area.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
All right, Bay Area, lock in because the clock is ticking on the Ford Final Days year-end sales event, and it's happening right now at Serramonte Ford. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Right now, you get an extra $1,000 in bonus cash on top of all other offers on brand new 2025 Fords. That's real money, and it gets even better. How about 0% APR for 60 months on Serramonte Ford's most popular rides? We're talking F-150, Explorer, Escape, Mustang Mach-E, Lightning, Transit vans, and Super Duty trucks. 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. Yeah, sit with that for a second. Every new 2025 Ford in stock qualifies, and there are more than 5 to choose from with that extra $1,000 open bonus cash. But don't wait, this deal ends January 2nd, and when it's over, it's over. Get to Serramonte Ford right off 280 in Colma, Daly City, or shop 24/7 at SerramonteFord.com. Final days, big trucks, bigger savings. Serramonte Ford, your Bay Area Ford store.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Red and Gold Game Day starts at Laughing Monk Brewing. Park for free. Enjoy amazing food, ice-cold beer, and every game on TV. Catch 95.7 The Game's pregame show. Then hop on the free shuttle straight to the stadium. Sign up now at 957thegame.com. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
All righty, that's Dan Devone. My name is Evan Giddings. Flying here on a Saturday. And I totally forgot about this. There was also a big fight last night.
Oh, Paul goes down.
Yeah,
He
got cold cocked. It's about time, man. I'm telling you, that's what they were trying to do to those kids last night. Someone just got in the middle of it.
So were you able to play Peacemaker? Did you separate?
No, I just got the hell out of the way, man. Anytime that there's a bunch of people at a kind of a tight space and, there's obviously alcohol, some people are on who knows what, you don't want to be in the middle of the action.
No, I told you I had a friend of mine who was driving around North Beach, and this is the day before Thanksgiving when all you lunatics just go off.
Oh, Blackout Wednesday?
Yeah, and he had somebody accost his car, and he got out of his car and then was just mauled by guys a quarter his age. Literally got just attacked and nailed and punched, and he's like, dude, I'm like, well, why do you get out of the car? Just drive home.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not his fault. He got assaulted, but I don't like confrontation, Dan. I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. And as much as I can avoid someone potentially throwing a random elbow, you don't want to be a product of friendly fire, and you certainly don't want to be a product of a fight that you don't have any involvement with. So diffuse situations, put your hands down, and just keep enjoying whatever you're doing. There's no reason to get out of the car when there's 4 25-year-olds that are blasted on Wednesday right before Thanksgiving. Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. And
the guy that was with him is also a friend of ours. This is Dolphin Club people. The nicest guy in the world. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 45, 50. He's about maybe 5'5". He looks like he has never been in a fight his entire life. But he sits in the car and he's watching his buddy just get absolutely tattooed. He's like, well, I can't sit in the car and watch Oliver just absolutely get, smashed. So he gets out of the car and he's got these horn-rimmed glasses. And so I see him the next day. He's got this big shiner. And so Oliver was all caught up in the moment. Like, he's like, you okay? And he's like, oh my God, what did they do to you? And he had this big bloody eye. He's like, no, I got my glasses. Oh, they took my Giants hat. And so Oliver who's been watching way too much TV, goes, oh, they got our colors? Like, what? Now you're a gang? What are we doing here?
They got our colors? I don't think I've heard that one.
Well, that's goes back to the Crips and the Bloods back in the day in South Central L.A., where it was all about, you went down a wrong hood and you were wearing the wrong colors. It's gang talk. It's like, oh my God, will you please just get in the car and go home?
Just imagining Costanza as your buddy. And just getting out of the car and get absolutely hammered. All right, let's get into it. Let's do it. 888-957-9570 is the number. Let's go to Joe, who's in San Jose, wants to get into the Warriors and the week that was. What's up, Joe? Good morning.
Thank you for taking my call. Listen, I just wanted 2 points. One on Coach Kerr and the other one on Azubuike and Fitz, the announcers.
Oh, I like this.
I find those 2 announcers the most annoying announcers I've ever heard in my life. They're horrible. Azubuike is always taking the side of the opposing side. He's always telling why they, But anyway, on Coach
Call
Kerr,
anytime, Joe.
Look, when an executive says such having too many. But being bothered by the complaining about the work that the workers are doing, I always see management. It's management, and Kerr, he keeps playing 3 guards, and then Jimmy and Green, or at the center spot, or at the power forward, and then Curry. What's this? I can't even think of his name. Anyway, but the 3 small guards of Spencer and all the other, Moody, and they cannot rebound in the fourth quarter. In the final 3 minutes, we've lost each game. Who was playing? That guard lineup, the 3-guard lineup, and people like Trace Jackson Davis. Maybe Post, Gee have led for 3 quarters, and they've taken a lead. But boy, come the fourth quarter, Coach Kerr, every time he goes back to his same lineup with the 3 small guards. I don't understand it. It hasn't worked for years now. Why does he continue to do this? And I really think that it's time for Coach Kerr to step down.
I got you, Joe. Nope.
Good call, Joe.
Appreciate the call, Joe.
Really good call.
Well, again, it's like
insightful.
He might. This is the last year for Steve Kerr. So everybody who's saying that this is time, it might be time. We're going to find out.
Well, I'm glad he took it there because I'm a Steve Kerr guy. I love Steve Kerr as a human being. And as a coach, look, at anytime you're an NBA coach of the Warriors and we're doing a show like this, you're going to take some shrapnel, right? There's going to be some, you got to take some shots. It just comes with the territory. But I'm a fan of his at the end of the day. Here's where I want to go because I know it was easy target for Draymond Green and the turnovers in the Golden State Warriors. Evan, this is why I almost called in yesterday. That's on Steve Kerr. And it's been on Steve Kerr for a long time. I know you disagree with this. And here's where I want to go, and we can give a huge drop to this. It goes back to my days when I did the Mike Holmgren show. And I remember Mike Holmgren specifically saying, Dan, there's two things that I can control, man. And that's penalties and turnovers. I can nullify those two things. Guy drops a pass, offensive lineman misses an assignment. Things are going to happen, right? Beyond my capabilities as a head coach. The Seattle Seahawks were the least penalized team in the NFL during his tenure. They also, listen, if you were a running back for the Seahawks and you fumbled a football, you just weren't playing. Take it to the NBA. Greg Popovich, what is Pops known for? Pops is known for defense, and in his half-court sets, his teams have never turned the ball over. Thibodeau. I know Tibbs plays his guys into the ground, but you want to know why Tibbs was a good coach? His teams never turned the ball over. And those two old grizzled SOBs, you know what they are? And Holmgren is? They're disciplinarians at the end of the day. That's what this gets down to. This isn't about an isolated game or a rash of games. This goes back years. Now, listen, there was a method to the madness when they would get up and down and play this chaotic style of basketball, and it worked and you won championships. Now it just makes no sense because you're an older team that is just simply turning the ball over and you can't score. But the reason why it continues to happen is because you have an undisciplined coach that allows Draymond Green to do that. That Draymond Green, Steph Curry, you name the player, knows that there is not going to be any fallback because I've done this before, and this is the culture of who the Warriors are. Steve Kerr can get in front of a podium, and he can address the press corps and talk about turnovers and how we have to eradicate them. But there has to be some sort of discipline implemented and recultivating the culture that is the Golden State Warriors when it comes to turnovers, because turnovers are one thing that a coach can actually impact. But if you're an undisciplined coach and you lean too far to the left in terms of being a player's coach, this is what you get.
Well, first of all, you think the Broncos are good?
Where are we going with this?
They commit the second most penalties in football. Sean Payton's a pretty good coach. It has to do with
Are you going to tell me you can create a winning atmosphere with turnovers?
I mean, they're 11-2.
Well, that to me is the outlier. If I'm a football fan, I want a coach who's has a team that's not committing turnovers.
No, I agree with you, or committing penalties. But the fact of the matter is, Steve Kerr has done it his way for 10 years.
God bless him.
It don't work when he doesn't have the players. But I would ask, which coaches can make it work when you don't have the players? I mean, don't get me wrong. And we've had this discussion before. It was actually about Curry. Is that you got to discipline Curry when he turns the ball over and when he's... It's like, no, you don't. It's Steph. Draymond's different. Draymond is someone that they haven't disciplined at any point throughout his career, even when he's harmed teammates. But I think that might be coming to a head. I think we are at a point where the turnovers that Draymond's committing are directly involved in the Warriors being a sub-500 basketball team. And as a result of that, I think that Steve Kerr is going to do something about it, because the entire season he's discussed turnovers being the primary reason why this team can't find its footing. Probably what's holding this offense back because they don't have a ton of scores. They're not great shooters. So the one thing you can't do is give your other team extra possessions. Draymond Green is right now the biggest culprit of that. He turns the ball over more than anybody on the team. And here's a stat for you. Per 100 possessions, he turns the ball over more than all but one player in the NBA. He turns the ball over more than Harden and Doncic.
Would you not agree that it's allowed to happen?
Well, yeah, because you're dependent on him. And my point is you got to change that. Like it's 28 games now.
So then we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think that Draymond Green needs a role reduction.
But you think it's just isolated to him and it's not an environmental thing?
Well, he's the biggest culprit. He's the one who turns the ball over the most on the team. You can't take Steph out. He does it. I get it. He turns the ball over, but you can't.
It's not about taking a guy out.
You can't demote him.
You can be a disciplinarian without benching a guy.
Yeah, but he's been here for 14 years. If you were going to discipline Draymond Green, you would have done that already. But we know the Warriors are never going to do that. And I honestly, I don't know if you brought in, let's say, a different coach. Is that coach brought in to discipline Draymond Green? No, to me, the moment you decide that you're done with Steve Kerr or you want to try to discipline Draymond, then you got to get off of everyone. And I don't think we're there yet. But if this thing continues to move in the wrong direction, because I don't think there's a Jimmy Butler trade out there that's going to save this season. You can only try to marginally improve and maybe use Kuminga. But to your point, I think the more they lose, the more everything's on the table. And that also includes Draymond.
There's one thing about Draymond, and again, I'm a fan of his as well at the end of the day.
You love his podcast.
I love his podcast. I like him. I like enforcers. I do. I that reminds me of basketball back in the 90s. I like guys who commit hard fouls still. And
you like Dylan Brooks?
That's where I wanted to go with this. So Draymond is that big bad wolf for the Golden State Warriors, sort of the mother hen protecting the flock. If he's the guy that sets the tone for the Warriors, don't mess with my basketball team, how the hell does he let that happen to his boy? And I'm talking about the foul that was committed by Dylan Brooks, the egregious just shot to the gut. How does the tough guy, the enforcer for the Golden State Warriors, allow that to happen? How does he allow poor mild-mannered Moses Moody get bullied throughout the entire game by that of Dylan Brooks? Where's our guy? Where is Draymond Green standing up to Dylan Brooks? I'll tell you where he is. He's looking for Salty Aldama. He's looking for Nurkic. He's looking for Rudy Gobert. He wants to fight guys that are going to back down, or he knows he's not going to get or very little pushback. That's a fake tough guy. I need you to represent Steph against Dylan Brooks. Get in Dylan Brooks' grill. Get in Isaiah Stewart's grill. You know why he won't? Because he's like the rest of us. He's afraid of Beef Stew too. Because Beef Stew will get back after him, and that's not somebody Draymond wants to mess with. So how could that have happened when Draymond Green's on the floor, if he's that guy?
Because he's feeling sorry for himself because he's turned the ball over 5 times in the game, and he's cost his team the game. I mean, the fact that they almost won that game was pretty ridiculous. Dylan Brooks basically gave them a 5-point possession. But seriously, I don't have the answer to that question, and it's a great point. If Draymond is supposed to be this heart and soul, why isn't that out there defending the best player on the team? I think it's because, and I can play some sound for it if you want, or I can just tell you, but Draymond was despondent after the game. Draymond, I've never heard him sound more defeated. And I think that's why he didn't go after Dylan Brooks, is because he was feeling sorry for himself. Because he played awful. And he's played awful for the last 2 games. I think that's why.
You know, it's interesting that and I want to get into this on the other side.
Well, we got a lot of time here.
I know.
we got like 10 minutes here.
In the next 30 seconds? I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, Ev, I felt watching that game as intently as I did that for the first time I got these signals. And this has never happened in the, 11 plus years. How many years has Steve Kerr been there? 13 years, 12? I've never felt this in the Steph, Draymond, Steve Kerr era. Could be wrong. Could be buying into something that's not there. But I've watched enough basketball, so have you, or team sports at the professional level where it's just like, whoa, body language is a little weird here. Something's a little amiss. You just had 4 days off. Why the lethargy? Usually, when those things go off in my head, it tells me there's something happening internally, which is never. Listen, I know we've had issues with Draymond Green. That's not what I'm referring to. Usually when a team is playing like that, there is something that's going on, and I'm talking about finger pointing, or there's something off in the locker room. And the one thing that Steve Kerr and the Warriors have always got right is the locker room, and I think a lot of it is attributed to when your best player is one of the nicest guys both on and off the court, Steph Curry. But it was the first time I felt as though, uh-oh. And you know where that finger's pointed at. And I don't know. I have nothing to back this up or to substantiate any of this. But this is what Jimmy Butler does. Jimmy Butler did this in Chicago. He did this in Minnesota. He did this in Philly. And he sure as hell did it in Miami. I don't know that that's what's going on. But Jimmy Butler, this is his MO. Start well. Everybody loves me. And then when we start to lose, I'm the first guy that starts to point a finger and create that cancer in the locker room. He's done it everywhere he's gone. And I just, again, I might be reading into something that's not there. But for the first time, I was like, why is this Warrior team collectively acting like this?
Well, this is something we've talked about since the beginning of the season. There's none of the Butler buddy fun, ha-ha, look at me, jokey moments. And I think that's not a coincidence. I don't think that this team is as joyful as it was last year. And I also don't think it's solely Jimmy Butler's fault.
I don't know.
But I will say he hasn't talked to the media for 3 straight games. He doesn't talk after practices. So we have not heard from Jimmy Butler since, I think it was the game before Minnesota. You got to go back to Chicago, actually, I think was the last time that he spoke. So it's been a while since we've heard from Jimmy Butler. You know, no one's had the chance to ask him about not shooting or, you know, a bounce-back game. He played really well against Phoenix. He was obviously their best player, though they lost. We don't know where Jimmy Butler's at. And one thing that is, I know that people kind of look around and say, oh, Jimmy Butler's, you know, he's been a locker room cancer in his career. He doesn't really start stuff publicly. Like, if you have followed Jimmy Butler's career, and again, I don't think we're there yet, but it usually starts with him just not talking. Jimmy's not a guy that makes a large stink. He doesn't do it publicly. He just silently phases himself out. And that is something that affects the team. But I think in regards to Draymond, the Draymond that I heard after the Phoenix game, that's the same tone that Klay Thompson had in his last season with Golden State. That's what's concerning to me. It's not that Draymond can't help them win. It's not that this might be Draymond's last year. It's that tone is that's a defeated tone that we've heard before from a Warriors legend. And we all found out after the season that Klay Thompson was not the easiest guy to deal with behind the scenes. And he feels to this day like that divorce was a little bit of each side's fault. I'm just saying, man, if things do not get better, you know, Draymond's tone, that's something that I'm very much keeping an eye on, because I remember how difficult it was sometimes to listen to Klay Thompson his last year here, because he clearly was not happy. Draymond Green didn't sound not happy, but he sounded as low as I've heard him in the last couple of years.
Because he played like crap.
Well, he's been playing like crap. He's turning the ball over 5.6 times per 100 possessions. He's one of the worst offensive players, efficiency-wise, in basketball. And he knows it. He's never shot this low from the field. You got to go all the way back to his rookie season the last time he was this bad from the floor. You got to go all the way back to his second season, the last time that he shot this poorly from three-point range. You got to go back all the way as far as turning over the ball to, I think it was 2023. Like, all of these things that are happening right now to Draymond Green. Yes, he's 35, but he is the least amount efficient as possible, and he's playing fewer minutes than he ever has.
Okay, somebody agrees with me. Let's get to the phone call.
Okay, all right. Let's get to Fred, who's in Richmond, before we got to hit a break here. Freddie, welcome to the program, man. What's going on?
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me on. I was just on my way home from work, and I was listening. I understand about the situation with Draymond, but I think a lot of people just don't understand. Draymond just had a personal day off not too long ago. I think his wife had a pregnancy or just had a baby, a newborn. And I don't think he's psychologically back into the tune of being who he's supposed to be, which is Draymond Green. That's why I don't think he really attacked Dillon Brooks the other night after that real awful flagrant foul that Dillon did against Steph Curry. But I believe once they get a win or two under their belt, everything will just go back to normal. I don't think Jimmy Butler is really that upset. I mean, I think it's just the dog days of the NBA season. It is stressful because after 30 games, like we're 2 games under 500, but I think a good week or two and everything will turn around. But I just don't want the NBA world to think that Draymond is not a tough guy. I believe he is. I don't think that if he went at Dillon Brooks, it would have turned out real good as far as Draymond, and that's not what the Warriors need right now. They need a win, not Draymond beating up somebody. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Good call, my man. I don't need him to
Fred.
beat somebody up. I need him to have somebody's back and just let Dillon Brooks know, bro, you don't do that to my guy.
Well, he could do it tonight. Well, it was a cheap shot.
No, I'm saying Draymond doesn't need to cheap shot Dillon Brooks. He needs to get in his face and go, you don't do that as long as I'm on the floor. However it is he wants to deliver the message. That's a good point. He better do that tonight. Not only that, did you see what he was doing to Moses Moody? I'm talking about Dillon Brooks. Poor Moses Moody. Who's Moses Moody ever hurt?
Oh, Moses. Poor Moses. Yeah, he's Dillon the villain, man. That's who he is. Broke Gary Payton II's arm. He's swatting at Curry. He's hitting his hand all playoffs last year. He's dirty. We know this. Do something about it. Or take out Devin Booker. Eye for an eye. We'll find out tonight, though. Dan's got pre and post, so he'll keep you locked here on 95.7 The Game. I think that game's at 5:30.
Could be the best pregame show in the history of, what are we calling that thing?
Warriors Live?
Warriors Live.
Warriors Live and Warriors Wrap-Up. All right, we're an hour in. We got 2 more to go. I see you the Yard Doctor in Napa. We got to step aside, and we'll come back and take your call on the other side. Giddings and Devone back after this, 95.7 The Game.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and see an amazing selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances live and on display in one of the largest living kitchens in the country. And save with Full Suite Savings Event. With qualifying purchase, get 3 additional years of protection or qualify for a $1,000 rebate. For the largest selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances, visit the Living Kitchen at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
Hi, I'm Maria, salon owner. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic, made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
You know, covering Bay Area sports for years, I've seen athletes go through it all. The highs, the lows, and the pain that comes with getting knocked down. But when it's not just a game, when you're the one injured, or when tragedy strikes someone you love, that's where Beam Law comes in. Beam Law is the Bay Area's go-to personal injury law firm. Whether it's a car accident, a serious injury, or a wrongful death, they're there to shoulder the legal burden so you can focus on what truly matters: rebuilding, recovery, and taking care of your family. Beam Law is local, and they win win, with millions recovered for clients across the region. That's why SF Weekly voted them Best of the Bay 4 times. If you've been hurt or lost someone because of someone else's negligence, call Beam Law at 415-523-5555. 415-523-5555. That's 415-523-5555. Or visit hurtinthebay.com. That's hurtinthebay.com, because it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Beam Law, they've got your back, Bay Area.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
In sports, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, we save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Television sales on Black Friday set new records as millions of Americans snapped up the hot deals. But a lot of people were out of town or too busy to take advantage of the special pricing. So, how about a redo? Right now, you've got a second chance to save big on many of the top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs. Where? At Video Only, where the smart shoppers go. So, don't miss out. Check out Video Only now, or
you'll be sorry.
From Carriage House to Glass Aluminum Doors, R&S Doors has a full line of commercial and residential garage doors and gates to suit anyone's taste and budget. Visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck.
Make money predicting sports, politics, culture, and more. Legally nationwide with Kalshi. From sports to Bitcoin, the Oscars, and even politics. If it matters, you can trade on it. Use code Odyssey for $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI.com. Trading involves risk. Kalshi.
All of us at Wedgwood Homes wish you a joyful holiday season and a prosperous new year. Celebrating 40 years of revitalizing communities in Northern California and thankful to be a part of yours. Best wishes for the season from your friends at Wedgwood Homes.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those? Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, yeah, we got the enforcers in the house. Steven Risotto, Dan Devone, and, you know, I'm not saying I'm Curry, but I expect you guys to stick up for me when people take shots at me. That's what you're here for. You're my teammates.
They're called goons in the NHL. I don't know if the NHL has goons anymore. The Todd Bertuzzis of the NHL.
You don't strike me as the guy when we would, play pickup or sports back. You don't strike me as the guy who's stirring the pot.
No, not at all.
I like.
If anybody goes near you, Evan, in any way, they have to go through me first. And there's no ands, if, buts about it. I'm your producer, and I am supposed to protect you.
Thank you. Pasa's our Hayden Bird song of the show. He's going to be the guy that we call in to plunk an opposing batter.
I missed the punch.
Pasa's our enforcer.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
14 years of age, 142 pounds.
Dude, I found out last night some of these kids, they got energy, man. They got energy that you do not know about.
Well, hell yeah. Teenagers.
Yeah, well, I'm supposed to have, I'm not there yet, but I thought the older you get, the more old man strength you get. Your grip's supposed to tighten. Your just whole, aura's supposed to be tougher.
You know what freaks me out about that environment is, like, I got to find the exits. Like, I do not like that sort of potential stampede at any moment. Like, I have to know how to get the hell out of there.
Well, that's why you got to know when the last song's coming, so you could just beat the rush. All right, let's go to the Yard Doctor, who's in Napa. This is Warriors This Week with Giddings and Devone. Yard Doctor, what's up, man? Good morning.
Hey, yeah, I wanted to call in, kind of chime in with Fred before the break. The old sayings are true. The best deodorant is winning. And so when stuff happens, along with Draymond or the team, yeah, you need an enforcer. Somebody's got to stake out the paint. But it's fine when you're taking home the trophy, but when you're not playing so well, it kind of starts to smell. And so I think that's kind of where we're at right now. Another thing I'd like to say is I took some education courses, and the first thing they taught you in school is there has to be consequences. You can't just let stuff go. And I think with Draymond, for years now, we really haven't had enough consequences. I don't know. I think I love Draymond, but I think I hate him too. I don't think I'm alone there. So thanks for taking the call.
No, I think that's pretty accurate.
He just summed up, I think, Dub Nation's relationship for the last 10 years with this man.
He is the definition of love-hate. Draymond's done so many things that make you just smile and jump for joy, and he's also done a lot of crap that make you say, how could I enjoy this individual? But that's who he is, and I also think that's what's made him so successful. And now we're getting to the point in his career where all that stuff, again, the good that he produces might not be worth the baggage. And that's where this year, to me, is kind of, it's becoming somewhat of an inflection point for him, and what the remainder of his career is going to be. Because I don't think that he's someone that is long for the starting lineup. I think he's someone who's going to eventually transition into a defensive specialist. And I don't know how many teams or how many minutes there are out there for a guy like that.
Would you attach him to Jonathan Kuminga, a Podziemski, GP2, and see what it is that you can get back?
If it made you better.
This is an option year for him, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's a player option. I think next year it's another $25 million or a little bit north of that.
I'm just curious what that would vet in the open market.
I don't think Draymond's trade value is very high, but he's a mid-salary. Like you might be able to find something. I don't think that there's a trade out there for the Warriors involving Kuminga and Green that makes you better than you are now. So to me, if you were going to do that, you would be trying to dial things back. You'd be setting up, all right, the second half of the season, it ain't going to go the way we want to anyways. we're going to look towards next year.
So you're getting draft capital?
Or an expiring deal, and maybe you try and use that money in free agency this summer. But to me, the Warriors, unfortunately, have kind of pigeonholed themselves into one way, and that's moving forward, because as long as you have Curry on your roster, and specifically a Curry who's playing the way that he is, I think it's very hard to sell him on the idea of, well, we're going to take 2 steps back, or take a step back to eventually take 2 steps forward.
If you were to package those two, it's almost as though it's 2 completely different timelines. Like, I think if you're somebody that's going to trade for Jonathan Kuminga, aren't you sort of in a rebuild, and aren't you gathering younger players and have him assimilate in, and you're on like a 3 to 5 year plan, or maybe shorter than that? But if you're getting Jonathan Kuminga, I think you're somebody that's looking for a veteran to win right now. Like, you're somebody who's looking for somebody that's going to set the tone for a team that's a little bit younger but has strong playoff potential. So I don't know that those two sort of work well together as far as packaging them in a deal.
Well, that's the thing, is how many teams would Draymond actually fit on? I mean, I think one of the reasons why, you mentioned how Kerr's system is responsible large in part for the amount of turnovers that they commit, and I think that's fair, but it also means that that's really how Draymond thrives. That's the only way that he knows how to play. I mean, you look around teams in the NBA, in the Western Conference, the Lakers are a team that might want Draymond. Outside of that, who else in the West is looking at Draymond Green? Because he's not going to go to a team that's bad. He's got to go to a team that he can help and maybe be the difference in come postseason time. Memphis, who, by the way,
thank you,
victory lap. Well, not really. They're still below 500.
Hey,
they've jumped the Warriors, though.
You and everyone else was circling the wagons that team was done. And by the way, Zach Edey out, but how good was he? How good was Shaquille O'Neal?
No, do not do that. Don't do that. Well, who is that?
That's Kurt from the Hayward Hills. He calls in on the Fridays.
Oh, thanks, Kurt. Zach Edey, part of it, though, is he's not going to be able to stay healthy. He's just too big.
Well, you could say the same thing about Wemby. By the way, the Emirates Cup delivered. They just got to get it out of Vegas.
Well, they might. I think there's reports that people are looking at other locations.
You know where they ought to go?
Seattle.
Right? Thank you. I don't know where you play the semis. Does that have to be in a different locale? I think it does.
The
right?
semifinals? Well, I think the semis. No, I thought they were also in Vegas.
They all were in Vegas, so I guess, yeah, maybe we could all do it in Seattle.
Right.
Or Vancouver. Let's get to a call.
That's true. 888-957-9570 is the number. This is Warriors This Week with Evan Giddings and Dan Devone. Let's go to our guy, Brooklyn, who's in San Rafael. What's up, Brooklyn? How you doing?
It's Brooklyn Chuck from last week, you guys. I called. I grew up on the streets of Brooklyn playing basketball. I've been playing and watching forever. I moved out here in 1972 when I was 27. You could pull out your abacus to see how old I am. But, I listened to some talk radio this week, and everybody's, they want to fire Kerr, and Dunleavy's doing a lousy job, and why did they get Butler? Well, I mean, these people are all a little off the mark here. Butler's a fine player. Look, the way I see it is, you got 3 players who you want to give a chance to play meaningful games. You want to honor Curry when he says he wants to play meaningful games. So you got to figure out a way to get better. And you're not going to get any prospects. You're not going to get a Trey Murphy or a Keegan Murray or I don't know. So, I looked around, and as I said last week, but I'll save it for the end, that there is some people, especially one guy. But the other problem is turnovers, of course, but the turnovers are puzzling. They're not just turnovers with a guy cutting to the basket. They're just making a pass in the backcourt. They're just lobbing it over. And I'm like, what are these guys thinking? That's very odd. So anyway, okay, the teams that are really bad are, Washington, New Orleans, and Sacramento, who has one in Kuminga. And last week I said, DeMar DeRozan, you guys poo-pooed it. He only got 33 the other night on 15 shots. He's placed over 30 minutes a night. You guys said he's a bad fit. Well, who was fitting? Is any of the other guys fitting in? There is no fit. That's why there's a revolving door of players. Nobody is fitting. At least you have a guy that you won't be hearing Fitz and Buki say, wow, they're shooting 1 for 10 from their three and they're wide open. That is really disturbing when they just keep hoisting up 3-point shots and none of them are coming close. And the other guys, D'Anthony Melton, he's averaging 1.6 assists and 1.6 turnovers. I mean, he's a nice player. All these guys are nice players, but you don't have a third option here. You have no third option. Yes, if your defense is pretty good, and Draymond's defense is pretty good, he doesn't have much of an offense, you need another scorer. And I looked around the league. The other team you could look at is the Clippers. If they keep on losing, maybe by some miracle, Kawhi Leonard will become available. But Kuminga's not going to get you Kawhi Leonard. And certainly everybody's talking about Giannis. Well, yeah, of course, we could always dream. But somebody that could help and help immediately, get you more points, who's a savvy veteran, can score, knows the game. He's played for good coach. He played for Toronto. He played for Coach Pop. He's a scorer. And right now they need a guy that can make 2-point shots. So do you want to tell me how he won't fit in now? You said he doesn't play defense. Well, is that what you need right now?
Oh, no, thanks for the call, Brooklyn. I think, look, all that's fair. To me, I'll give you this. I think the more the Warriors lose, everything is on the table. I mean, I personally don't think DeRozan is the answer, but that's also because I don't really...
I don't want another 36-year-old basketball player.
I don't either.
Who's on the downside and, yes, does not play defense. I know he went for 33, but this does not fit. And I'll leave it at that. DeRozan's days are clearly behind him, and we got enough of those.
He did bring up a team, though. And I've seen his name floated out there because the league is starting to keep an eye on this. No, I'm not talking about Kawhi.
Zubats?
I'm talking about James Harden.
No.
I'm talking about James Harden. Everything to me, if you're going to go down the DeRozan lane, if you're really going to look at a player like that, I think you got to ask the Clippers what it would take to get off of James Harden. He's got a player option next year. He's making $40 million. He's averaging 26 and 8.
He
plays every single game.
Let me just ask you, man.
Yep.
And I know you like to take these psychedelics and these, these funny things you pop into your mouth from time to time to go to concerts. I don't know whether
I would suggest that you enlighten yourself.
That's actually a good point. So I don't know.
You can do it naturally.
When you say things like that of your level of sobriety right now, because I'm not even going to entertain getting James Harden because that does not work on so many different levels.
And
starting
what I
with
would
the contract,
say to
starting
you,
with the age, starting with the way he plays, how's he going to play with Steph?
Steph Curry can play with anybody. He can play with anybody as long as they're good. That's the biggest problem with this team is there's no talent. All I'm saying is if you really want to maximize this season, you can't dismiss anything. Like, this team is not good. This team is not good right now. And I don't think the Warriors are in a position to look at any player across the league who can do things and say, no, I don't think that's the guy. What about John Morant?
Well, I already told you, John Morant. You don't have enough to get John Morant.
I think you might.
Not leaving Memphis. I would focus on New Orleans and Herb Jones and, yes, Trey Murphy. And I don't know that you have
Herb
enough.
Jones ain't changing the season. I mean, honestly, none of these guys are, but...
I mean...
Who,
your
Messi?
centers right now are Post and Al Horford.
They're going to trade for Kevon Looney. That's what they're going to do. This is the same thing they did a few years back with Gary Payton II. They said, we'll turn James Wiseman into GP2, and you'll just be happy about it.
In all seriousness, that's where this begins and ends. You cannot miss on James Wiseman, and you cannot miss on Jonathan Kuminga, which they did. Thank you, Bob Myers. That's who we could, whoever. I think Lacob had something to do with this. But that's the reason why we are where we're at. That's why we can't pass this torch. That's why the timelines are screwed up. You get one swing at the plate. For whatever reason, the stars were aligned, where your best players were still young enough, and you were picking number 2 in the lottery and number 7, and you swung and missed on both of them. And that's why we're at today. That's how we got here.
Well, I agree with that, but I also think, to me, the bigger draft that you missed on, I know the second pick is the second pick. The 2021 draft is the one that really killed you to me, because Wiseman, I think he was the consensus guy. They were in lockstep. The Warriors wanted him. I think there was a lot of disagreement about who they were going to draft with those 2 first-round picks between when they got Kuminga and Moody. And those were drafts where you just brought up a name, but it's like Trey Murphy was there and you took Moses Moody. Franz Wagner was there when you took Jonathan Kuminga.
Alperen
Şengün. Jalen Johnson, I believe, was taken after Moses Moody.
How good is he?
He's pretty freaking good.
He's amazing.
And would they be the exact same thing they are on their respective teams? Perhaps not, but I think that those are all talented guys, and this is what the Warriors don't have. They don't have talent among their young players. And we just, I feel like with Kuminga, we just use talent as a synonym for athleticism, and it's not. Like, just because you can run and jump doesn't mean you have a ton of, I don't know, maybe it's skill.
You know, one thing, the Jonathan Kuminga thing has now just gotten so weird. Like, what the hell is this now? DMP, plays 9 minutes. What is going on here? And if I'm Jonathan Kuminga, for crying out loud, if I'm his agent, he's still overthinking. He's still passing up dunks. He's still trying to get other guys involved when he knows damn well I can take anybody off the dribble or...
No, he can't.
Okay, well, he feels as though...
He thinks he can take everybody off the dribble.
He can take anybody, and he has a lot of... Let's not dismiss this guy as not being talented. I'm not saying that he is this guy anymore, but why wouldn't he do it? If I'm Jonathan Kuminga, I'm a short-termer regardless. If I got 9 minutes to run, I sure as hell am going to the rack. Like, I'm sorry, Steph, you ain't getting the ball. I get 9 minutes every 2 weeks now. I'm going to town. I'm getting into my mid-range. I'll spin and get to the rim. I'm going coast to coast. Kerr, here's the middle finger, baby. Because what more are you going to do to me? Bench me? DNP me?
You took 5 shots in 10 minutes.
I've been there. I know he still gets into the half court, and he could see him going through these permutations. What do? No, man, you may as well go.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're going to do anything.
Well, who cares? Then get benched. You're going to be there anyways.
But you'd like to actually play basketball. There's also a showcase for him. He's trying to get to another team.
Exactly.
So you're just
going to get you there.
No, but tanking your own trade value ain't going to do it either.
I'm not saying tanking. I guarantee if we were to sit him down and we were having a cocktail and say, hey, you can go.
I don't think he drinks.
You can go on Devin Booker. I could handle Devin Booker. I could handle anybody. if Dylan Brooks was matched up on you, do you think you could take Dylan Brooks? Hell yeah, I could.
Yeah, and you're an idiot.
So then why aren't you? Well,
because I can't.
No, because Coach Kerr, you can see him passing the ball, wanting to sort of get into the system. My point to him is right now, I would blow into his ear like, man, if they're going to let you on the floor again, you may as well do what it is that you think you can do. Otherwise, what else are they going to do to you? Bench you? DMP'd you? Been there, done that. So you may as well do what you think that you're capable of doing. Prove us all wrong. Stop passing the damn ball. You know you don't want to. Stop trying to fit into a system. You know you don't want to. Be Jonathan Kuminga. Let's see you go raw. Let's see you be that guy.
His confidence is completely broken. He's shooting 28% in his last 5 games.
It's a misfit right now.
He cannot be that guy.
Well, not on this team. Maybe somewhere else, and I still have my doubts. But he ain't doing anything. He's not. He's not the Warriors' answer unless they can use him to get somebody in a trade. All right, let's get back to the phone lines at 888-957-9570. Talk to our guy, Oscar, who's in Stockton. What's up, Oscar? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, just here kicking back, listening to everybody talk. Okay, my first thing is that this Kuminga situation, it's a reflection on the team, man. And you can't. That's one reason you can tell by the body language of Jimmy Butler. Everybody keep on saying he's quiet because he's not happy because Kuminga, he wants Kuminga to play, point blank. And that's you can tell that's the way he's playing, but he's not going to come out and say it. But with the turnovers, with Draymond Green, Now, I hear everybody want Draymond Green to get up in Dylan's face. But guess what? Draymond, like the one caller said, people don't understand. He was going through it. He just came back from injury, and he just had a baby. People, I know you guys that got kids understand that. Emotionally, he was going through it, and he was sulking on the fact that he knows his last 2 games, he has 13 turnovers, and he's the big reason why we've been losing. That's my boy. So, I'm going to hold him down to it, and he's going to hold himself accountable. But with the younger players, you guys just said something about that draft pick. Bob Myers, I watched a lot of college and high school basketball. He passed on a lot of them cats that we should have got. We didn't get them. But it's on Kuminga and Moses Moody them to attack their weaknesses in the summer, and that's dribbling. We have no wings that can dribble except for Will Richards, who should be playing more. And I'm going to give my boy Paczynski a little bit of clout. He played good these last 2 games because he heard the message when Steve Kerr talks to him. But he is playing a lot of minutes. We have to start playing Will Richards more. But other than that, it's on the Warriors, man. We can't keep on blaming Steve Kerr every time the players is out there not boxing out, not playing to their potential every game. Our younger players got to play smart and hard all the way through. Steph had a bad game, so I'm not going to get mad at the Warriors because we lost a couple of games. We under 500, but they're going to get themselves together because the organization that we got and the owner that we got, we can't dwell on the past. The players that we didn't get in the past progressions that Draymond has had. That's my boy. But guess what? The Warriors is going to put together. We might make a trade. Kuminga, his body language is all gone. His confidence is gone. Like you just said, when he gets in the game, attack. Why are you trying to pass the ball? When you see you passing the ball, making mistakes. Play to your strength. Go to the rack. You're going to be there for 9 minutes. Go hard for 9 minutes. Play your game. It's on Steve Kerr to make sure he adapts to what Kuminga is going to do. He's going to score and go hard. They didn't go hard for 10 or 12 minutes and be that guy.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team has to start stepping up, fellas.
I got you, Oscar. Appreciate the call, man. You said you wanted to respond to that?
What part?
He's saying
job,
exactly.
Oscar?
No, it's exactly what you want him to do.
209. It's the area code, or it used to be the area code in Stockton. I'm not sure if it still is.
No, it is. Well, no, you wanted to respond to that. It's exactly what you're calling for. On this team, he's not doing it. I don't know. I don't know why we spend so much time talking.
My point is
we've been asking him to go to the rack for 5 years.
I know, but I think that he's in his head. He thinks in order for him to play, he's got to fit into a system that he doesn't understand fully. So you may as well do you at this point, because what's the ulterior? Like, you're going to get benched, you're not going to play, you're going to get traded. Hey, newsflash, all those things are happening anyways. So go ahead, man. Show us what you got. You think you can deal on these guys, and part of me believes that you can. So go ahead. If you get run tonight, I wish he was listening right now. I would just tell him, if you get on that floor tonight, my man, the minute you get isolated in the wing, go. Well, get to the rim.
I actually do think he's going to play a little more tonight, because I think Draymond Green's going to be dialed back a little bit tonight, because he's turned the ball over 13 times in 2 games.
Whose fault is that?
Draymond Green's fault for getting ripped by Mark Williams, for throwing the ball into traffic 18 times. Ugh. All right, we're going to step aside and come back. Warriors this week rolls on with Giddings and Devone after this.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibbs for Safeway. Happy holidays from Safeway. Enjoy 9 days of savings with weekly mailer deals from December 17th through December 25th. Signature Select Classic Ham Shank Half, like Dibbs' golf game, or whole, bone in, 87 cents per pound while supplies last. Limit 1. Also, green asparagus, just $1.99 per pound, limit 4 pounds. You know the green, that's what you're aiming at.
No doubt. Lucerne, shredded, sliced, or chunk cheese, 6 to 8 ounce sizes, or Philadelphia cream cheese, 8 ounce bricks, like your jumper, all just $1.99 each, limit 6 items. Wow. Land Lakes, 16-ounce butter, or Kerrygold butter, 7.5 to 8 ounce sizes, $3.99 each. Limit 4 items.
All right, we're good here. 1 for 1. These and other great deals are available in the For You section on the Safeway app. You can clip the coupons from the weekly mailer and present them at checkout or download them to your For You account in the Safeway app. We will see you in the aisles.
So what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
The NFL is taking over the Bay Area with Super Bowl Experience presented by Jersey Mike's, February 3rd through 7th at the Moscone Center, North and South. Dive into an immersive football festival celebrating all 32 teams, plus interactive games, player autographs, photos with the Vince Lombardi Trophy, exclusive NFL shop merchandise, and much more. It's the ultimate Super Bowl week event with fun for all ages. Tickets start at just $40 and kids 12 and under attend for free. Visit superbowl.com to buy your tickets today.
Hi, I'm Brian Bakhtiari, Executive Manager of Stevens Creek Subaru. The holiday season is a time of giving, and for the 17th year in a row, Stevens Creek Subaru wants to give back. From now until January 2nd, get a great vehicle and support a great cause. Because with every new Subaru purchased or leased, Subaru and Stevens Creek Subaru are donating a minimum of $325 to charity during the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, happening now at Stevens Creek Subaru. And if that's not enough, buy or lease any new Subaru from Stevens Creek Subaru until December 31st and receive 2 Sierra at Tahoe season passes from Stevens Creek Subaru. So you get a great deal on a new Subaru, get 2 free season passes to Sierra at Tahoe, and help some great charities at the same time. It's a win-win-win at Stevens Creek Subaru. Located on Stevens Creek Boulevard near Santana Row and Valley Fair, or online at StevensCreekSubaru.com. StevensCreekSubaru.com. And remember, buckle up and drive safely.
All right, Bay Area, lock in, because the clock is ticking on the Ford Final Days year-end sales event, and it's happening right now at Serramonte Ford. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Right now, you get an extra $1,000 in bonus cash, on top of all other offers on brand new 2025 Fords. That's real money, and it gets even better. How about 0% APR for 60 months on Serramonte Ford's most popular rides? We're talking F-150, Explorer, Escape, Mustang Mach-E, Lightning, Transit vans, and Super Duty trucks. 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. Yeah, sit with that for a second. Every new 2025 Ford in stock qualifies, and there are more than 5 to choose from with that extra $1,000 open bonus cash. But don't wait, this deal ends January 2nd, and when it's over, it's over. Get to Serramonte Ford right off 280 in Colma, Daly City, or shop 24/7 at SerramonteFord.com. Final days, big trucks, bigger savings. Serramonte Ford, your Bay Area Ford store.
If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Imagine being a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit Tremfya.com.
Tune in for Warriors Live today, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
Red and Gold Game Day starts at Laughing Monk Brewing. Park for free. Enjoy amazing food, ice-cold beer, and every game on TV. Catch 95.7 The Game's pregame show. Then hop on the free shuttle straight to the stadium. Sign up now at 957thegame.com. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Oh, heck yes.
Dude, it's like Santa's workshop back there.
Yeah, what are they doing?
I have no clue. I've never seen construction on this floor. I know last week they were banging pots, I think, above us.
Oh, God, yeah. They were like, had the wrecking ball going to the side of the building.
I thought we were going down.
Yeah.
Now they're just building, I don't know, maybe a new table. No, they're building
a new table. I think it's a little bit more involved than that.
Well, they got
like
one of those things under wraps.
Work and
who knows?
These guys are like building a new table.
They're professionals. So much so that the KCBS crew is invading our space, and I don't know how I feel about it.
Make it sound like the guy went down to IKEA and just like throwing up a table. This poor guy's like busting his hump.
Can we get them on the show and ask about their project?
No, but Devon's taking any. If you seriously,
if he wants to join me Christmas Eve, he's more than welcome.
Seriously, if you're not doing anything Christmas Eve between 12 and 4, or I don't know when your show is. But
neither am I.
I think it's 2 to 6.
2 to 6.
Okay, if you're not busy from 2 to 6, this is a call to action across the Bay Area. If you're not busy from 2 to 6, it is the Dan Devone show on Christmas Eve, and he will be taking any and all calls. Anything you want to talk about.
Anything. On top?
Literally
that.
Anything.
You will get run on my show. I will not run you. You will get run.
He's going to have a guest every single hour for as long as he can take
We may even play sound.
Speaking of.
We're not making winning plays. We got to make winning plays.
See? This is a 3-second cut.
It's pretty monosyllabic.
I just want to go home. I'm tired.
Yeah, he is tired. He sounds tired. All right, let's get out to the phone lines and kick this segment off. Halfway home here on a Warriors This Week with Evan Giddings and Dan Devone. Let's go down to San Jose. Talk to our guy, Austin. Austin, how you doing, man? Happy Saturday.
Hey, what's up? Happy Saturday. Happy holidays, guys. Always enjoy what you guys are putting down. Fans are calling in. Yeah, I kind of read the fan base as two sides. One is, don't worry, everybody. They're going to make a run. It doesn't matter whether they get 5 games under. Somehow Steph's going to pull out his cape, and everything's going to be fine at the end. I think that's the sell job that we've been sort of seduced into thanks to 30. But I wouldn't count on it, guys. And there's a lot of dynamics, obviously, from 2022 to carry over that people give the fans this confidence. I don't share it. I look at what's happening every night on the court and looking at the team, the body language, seeing in the past, what we're seeing now. Just a couple things. One, this week, the email that came out, I spent a lot of time. I think there's no such thing as coincidences. I've been around long enough to not believe in coincidences, especially when it comes to big business. That's how it was done, I believe. And I think Joe Lacob, my opinion, is that Joe Lacob sent a message to everybody, not just he did to the coaches, to the players. They're on notice. And if you think they're not, you watch them. Jimmy Butler's performance the other night against Phoenix, coincidence? No. No such thing as coincidences in the world that I come from. So I think we need to look at the tea leaves and see what's going on. The second thing I wanted to touch on was the future. I know we talk about Jonathan Kuminga, and it's not just about J.K. It's not just about Podziemski. It's not just about Post. These guys are playing for their careers. So I've taken a step back and looked at it. Let's give the young guys a break. They're all playing for their careers. They're playing to be on the Warriors or any team. We shouldn't expect many of these guys probably won't be with the Warriors over the next 2 years. So we shouldn't get caught up in the players we see today. Most of them, I believe, won't be here. The question is, how are they going to pivot from the three that they've got, the big three, and go forward? If you're thinking, if Joe Lacob if I hear everybody's talking about Joe, and if what I believe is true about Joe, he's thinking about the 3 years out. What we have today is what we have. I don't think whether they go on a run in the next 3 games is going to really change the outlook for the future. The question, guys, is where are they going to be in 2 years? Let's play this out. Let's say they go to the playoffs this year. They go out in the first round. Let's say even maybe they go to the second round. They go out. Where do they go from here? You got a lame duck coach, probably isn't coming back. You got 3 guys on the roster that, to me, collectively don't play that well together. As much as we want to talk about the big 3, if you're being honest, they don't really play that well together. Chris Mullin said a year or so ago that Jimmy and Steph is not a natural fit. So, Evan, to your point, yeah, let's go out and what do we got to lose? Let's go change the dynamic. Let's go get somebody different with talent. Nobody fears, and there's nobody fearing anybody on the Warriors right now but Steph Curry. In closing time, the big boys step up like Devin Booker, the big boys with his closing time to win. Who are they fearing on the Warriors other than Steph Curry? They don't even fear Jimmy in that sense. So we just got to be honest. I would like to see them go get, let's go get Anthony Davis. I know that people panic about the salary. Who cares? If you're saying that you're all in on Steph, the runway to go get a chip, potentially, not even a chip, but to go deep into the playoffs would be, to me, a lot more plausible with a guy like Anthony Davis than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, there's no runway to a championship, in my opinion, with Steph and Jimmy, guys. So that's what I got. Happy holidays. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Austin. Happy holidays to you, too. How you feel about AD, Dan?
Well, I look at that from the Dallas perspective, and who is it on the Warriors that I would want for Anthony Davis? Jonathan Kuminga?
I think the enticing part for Dallas is just simply getting off of Davis. And that's, to me, honestly, that's why you'd be able to get him, is because I think AD's contract is seen as not very good around the league.
Well, yeah, $65 million a year.
But that's also why you might be able to acquire him. And I have my doubts that he can stay on the court. To me, that's why I would honestly look more at a player whose contract is either up this year or next year, because you're probably going to have to pivot. And if I'm doing that, I don't want, like AD, for example.
How many years does he have on his deal?
He's got 2 more after this.
Well, that works. Well,
58 and 62.
Well, the 2-year timeline, because Jimmy's up next year, right?
Jimmy's up, Steph's up, Dre's up. I would like to not have another supermax salary alongside Curry on my books after this season. But if you feel like AD's the guy that's going to take you to the next level, I think it's hard to rely on someone who is unreliable. But I don't disagree with the idea of, again, trying to find talent out there. And Anthony Davis certainly is talented. That's why I brought up James Harden. Like, I'm not a huge Harden fan, but he's been on the court every single game this season. He's playing 36 minutes a night, and he can get you 30 points a game. Is he going to give it up on the other end? Probably. But Steph right now doesn't have a reliable running mate, and as crazy as it sounds, someone like James Harden could be that.
But for what? I mean, so you make a little bit of noise in the postseason? I mean, I think we're all on the same page. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. I think that's all Steph at the end of the day is, quote-unquote, looking for to play in those meaningful games.
I agree. I think the goal this season is...
Because you're not... I guess my point is...
There's no championship move out there.
No, thank you. There's not a player, whether it's Harden or it's AD, you're not a player away is my point.
even Giannis. I think Giannis is a guy who obviously would make you a whole hell of a lot better, but is Giannis the difference between this team beating OKC and not in a 7-game series? I have my doubts. I think he obviously makes you way, way better, but is he worth trading in your entire cupboard of assets for? Is he worth trading your future for to make sure that Steph can win a postseason series or maybe two? Maybe it is worth it to them. But I think the goal right now, Dan, is figuring out how the Warriors can, by the end of this season, again, just be playing meaningful basketball, which is what Curry asked for.
Yeah, and I'm with him. Let's just play some basketball in the postseason. Everybody gets excited. The games are that much more magnified, and it's fun. It's fun. It's fun for us. It's fun for the fan base. But if you're seriously thinking of repeating as a NBA champion, you're a bit delusional. And one player is not going to make that happen. This is something you have to readdress when you free up all this money and these guys walk off, including Kerr and the big pieces on this team, and then you start anew through draft picks, through whoever it is with that free money that you go out and get, and then you assemble a new crew. But this is where we're at with this basketball team. The other thing I would point out is that this idea that they're going to get in the playoffs, I would just say, hey, man, you might want to look over your shoulder at two teams, one being Portland and the other being Dallas. And there are no guarantees that you're even getting into the play-in. Now, maybe Phoenix will fall back to you, and then maybe Memphis comes back to the pack. I'm just saying this idea that, well, yeah, we're one of the best top 10 teams in the NBA or in the West, one of the top not. I'm not so sure about that. Are you that confident that you can hold off Portland? Portland's only going to get better.
Portland's also beat you 3 times. I can't believe the Portland Trailblazers.
What's funny about
are 3-0
a team like Portland and the Warriors, the further the season goes along, that's more challenging for the Warriors. When you're talking about load management, and you're talking about guys who are over the age of 35 and the battle of attrition. How many times do we throw that out there? For a young team like Portland, they only get better because they're getting more reps for younger players. And where they're at now, they'll be exponentially better, theoretically, towards the end of the season because these guys are getting more run. It's the same thing that happened to OKC a year ago. Playing more games is actually a good thing for younger teams, not for the Golden State Warriors.
Well, it builds their confidence. And the one thing that's crazy about Portland is they're so deficient in a lot of areas, but those areas don't tend to matter when they play Golden State. Like, they're just a bad matchup for the Warriors. And that's kind of the problem, right, is when the Warriors were at their best, you're thinking about, all right, who could knock them off? Who might be a bad matchup? It's like there's a lot of teams in the NBA that are bad matchups for the Warriors because any team that is young, fast, athletic, that has length, that has wings, they're going to frustrate Golden State because they're old and some of their young players are looking like they're too inexperienced. All right, let's go down to Los Angeles. Talk to our guy, AJ. AJ, thanks for hanging on, man. Good morning. What's going on?
Always. What's going on, man? The contradictions that I hear around here about these Warriors is unreal. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at this, man. Jonathan Kuminga, I could have swore like a year or two ago, or even last season, everyone was saying, "Hey, you know you can get your own bucket, but let's get the rest of the team involved. You know, pass the ball, rebound, run the floor, okay." And now all of a sudden it's, hey, man, stop passing it. Go get your shot. Go get a bucket. You know what I mean? Like, forget about it. It's not going to happen. You know, I want to just talk about this dude contract. So his contract was not only set up to trade, it was set up to extend. Okay, so Jonathan Kuminga knows if anyone played basketball with NBA guys during the offseason and played pickup, that's how Jonathan Kuminga is playing right now. He knows that the money within his deal is designed to be extended. If he go out there and push it like all of a sudden the contradictors are saying now, hey, push it now, and, you know, a little stretch, a little strain, that extension is in trouble. So it makes no sense for him to go out there and push it because he's on a team where he's not going to be on. In fact, his representatives himself, the Warriors, they already know where he's going. He know where he's going because The only place he can go is the place that he accepts an extension to. You can't just trade him to Utah. You got to trade him to the team that he's willing to extend on. And so the problem with this team, we talk about fit, we talk about the fit. One thing that Lacob mentioned that caught my attention was style trends, the way the game is basically being played right now. And that's a total hit at a guy named Steve Kerr. The system, the game, the style he's playing has passed on. You know, his system no longer works. It's over. 4-guard lineups, 5-guard lineups, whatever the heck you're doing. The days of coaching the Avengers where you can just sit with your arms crossed and not coach and not do anything, those days is over. If you don't want to get there and coach and develop, it's nothing we can do for you. You know what I mean? So if we're looking at the style fit, we're looking at a guy like Draymond Green, a guy who can't fit in any lineup because he can't do anything offensively. And defensively, it's kind of okay. He played defensively in spots. He make a play here and there. But a full game of defense, he don't do that anymore. Those days are over. He don't play defense, okay? Those days are over. Offensively, teams don't even look at him. So when Draymond is on the court, I don't care what lineup it is. It's 4 against 5 all the time, you know? Whether he's in the lineup with Steph, Jimmy, JK, whatever lineup JK in is with Draymond, it's not a Jimmy, it's not a Wiggins, it's not a Steph issue. It's not JK can't play with those guys. It's JK can't play with Draymond. In fact, nobody can play with Draymond because he's an offensive nightmare. He doesn't do anything right. He's terrible. You know what I mean? So we need to get that through our head. In fact, the last 7 years, I'll hang up with this. The last 7 years, the two issues on this team who ripped the fabric on what made this team great was Steve Kerr and Draymond Green. Both of them. They both need to go. If you want to be good again, you need to sacrifice them. Peace.
Thanks, AJ. Appreciate the call. He's basically
Merry Christmas.
He's just reiterating what you were saying earlier. It's all on the coach, and Draymond's got to go, right?
No, come on. I wasn't saying that.
No, it's the same reason that they're in the position they are is the same reason they were successful. Is these guys, is Steve Kerr over the hill as a coach? Maybe we're finding that out this year.
He's the same guy.
It's the dumbest thing
That's what
I've
I'm
ever
saying.
heard.
The same things that he's doing now are the same things that help bring 4 championships to the Warriors. The same way that Draymond Green is playing is the same way that he's played his entire career. He's just not as good anymore because he's 35 years old. He's always been turnover prone. He's always been loose with the ball. But he's made up for it because he was more athletic when he was younger. He's a better shooter. He's a better defender. He's just a better player.
My issue with Kerr, as it relates to turnovers, is that, yeah, he's always been this guy. He's always coached this way, and it's been successful more often than not. But I do think as you get older and the style of play changes, that you should incorporate the guy that he's learned that's been such a huge influence in his life, and that being Phil Jackson and Greg Popovich, and that is don't turn the ball over and be a liability when you get to this stage of your best players being over the age of 35. And I think the point that I was trying to make is that Steve needs to be a bit more of a disciplinarian so that this isn't repetitive. And when you see this happen time and time again, I don't put it on Draymond Green and Steph Curry and whoever's turning the ball over tonight or tomorrow or the next game. That's more of a product of the system and an environment that's been cultivated by a guy who is not a disciplinarian when it comes to this. Now, yeah, he's the same guy, and you didn't have to be that guy early on, but I do think that things change as you get older. And taking care of the basketball, I think, should have been more of a point of emphasis than it is.
Yeah, but neither Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich did diddly squat without players. Name me one team that Phil Jackson did not win with.
It's a players' league. I get it.
Without Hall of Famers.
Absolutely.
Greg Popovich's last 5 seasons as head coach for the Spurs, he won 22, 22, 34, 33, 32 games. You can preach ball security all you want. You ain't got the guys for it. It's not going to matter. There's a reason the Spurs haven't made the playoffs in 6 years. And I don't think that's squarely on the shoulders of Greg Popovich. Now, actually, in his case, it might be because he also makes basketball decisions. He's a president of basketball operations. But my point is, asking Steve Kerr to make wine out of water, it ain't going to happen.
Well, if turnovers aren't such a big issue, then why are we leaning in on Draymond Green?
Well, they are right now.
Well, yeah. My point is that if we're gonna point a finger at turnovers as being the reason or the culprit for losses, and we're gonna go after a player, sure, why not? He's the guy making the turnovers. I think it's more of the environment that he's been allowed to do it repeatedly. I'm with you. It's a players' league. It's 5 dudes on the floor. I'm with you. It's not football. It's not baseball. You got a roster of like 15 guys on the bench. I get it. It's always been a players' league. But turnovers, especially at the rate at which the Warriors are doing it for a bunch of guys over the age of 35, does not help.
Well, I think one of the reasons they're turning the ball over as much as they do is because they're small, they're unathletic, and they're old. And every team they play is at some sort of an advantage. And you're just going to get frustrated. Passing lanes are going to be shorter. Draymond Green, it's like every single pass that Draymond Green throws, it's like a quarterback who doesn't have a good arm. You know, he has to be perfect. He has to thread the needle every time he throws the ball beyond 5 yards, because if he doesn't, it's going to get batted down or picked. And that's what it feels like watching Draymond Green try and thread these needles and thread these passes sometimes.
Hey, you know what, really quick, before we get
like
to the
Phillip
caller,
Rivers on Monday night.
Do you think, I mean, should any of us be surprised? Was it Denny Green? We thought they were. I mean, at least me, I don't know where you were at, but in the beginning of the season, I'm saying that there was sort of a strong consensus that, isn't this sort of what we expected? Like, I mean, we can get our dander up and like, oh my God, you're under 500, but didn't we sort of forewarn that this is an old basketball team and that the youth really wasn't that good, and that, you know, I don't think that do you think they're underachieving? Not to me.
Maybe a little bit. I mean,
because of the way they finished last year?
Yeah, and I would say also some of the way they've lost these games. Like, if I told you that this was an experienced older group, you know, one of your advantages is supposed to be your guile, right? Or your wherewithal. They're 5-10 in clutch games. You know, they can't close games. That's honestly their biggest problem. You know, a lot of these games are going to come down to the wire, and it's a couple possessions here and there, a couple plays. Shoot, the game against Phoenix, if that foul isn't called, maybe they win in overtime. I don't know. But the fact that they're 5-10 in clutch games with Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, that does surprise me. Because it means to me that those players that have the most impact on tight games, maybe not Steph, but the other two are slipping. And to me, Draymond Green is the one who's fallen off the most. Jimmy Butler's, like, I don't think he's been all that, but statistically he's been better than he was last year. And that's the thing that I can't figure out, is that if I can't figure out this team, I guess, when I look on paper to what I'm watching. Because when I'm watching them, I don't think they're very good. But then I see some of the things on paper and some of the stats, and I'm like, well, why is this team not at least 500?
Because they're old. And what you don't see on stats is Jimmy Butler's not the same defender. What you don't see on stats is guys all getting out on a break.
I didn't think he was that great of a defender last year, though.
Well, he was better. But I guess my point is, and Jimmy Butler was good in the last game because he had 4 days off, which is sort of the MO with him. Days off, good Jimmy. You get him into the rigors of an NBA season, and he'll disappear until he gets another 4 days off.
Oh, he's scoring 30 tonight.
All right.
He's going to get 30. And he might be the one to cold cock Dylan Brooks. We're going to find out. All right, we got calls coming in. I see you, Chris. I see you, Dan. We're going to get to your calls on the other side. 888-957-9570 is the number. Calm down. That's Dan Devone. My name is Evan Giddings. Warriors This Week returns after this.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the Warehouse Club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500
Ford's USA. Fixed broadband experience report, May 2025.
All right, Bay Area, lock in because the clock is ticking on the Ford Final Days year-end sales event, and it's happening right now at Saramonte Ford. And trust me, you do not want to miss this. Right now, you get an extra $1,000 in bonus cash on top of all other offers on brand new 2025 Fords. That's real money, and it gets even better. How about 0% APR for 60 months on Saramonte Ford's most popular rides? We're talking F-150, Explorer, Escape, Mustang Mach-E, Lightning, Transit vans, and Super Duty trucks. 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days. Yeah, sit with that for a second. Every new 2025 Ford in stock qualifies, and there are more than 5 to choose from with that extra $1,000 open bonus cash. But don't wait, this deal ends January 2nd. And when it's over, it's over. Get to Saramonte Ford right off 280 in Colma, Daly City, or shop 24/7 at SaramonteFord.com. Final days, big trucks, bigger savings. Saramonte Ford, your Bay Area Ford store.
You know, covering Bay Area sports for years, I've seen athletes go through it all. The highs, the lows, and the pain that comes with getting knocked down. But when it's not just a game, when you're the one injured, or when tragedy strikes someone you love, that's where Beam Law comes in. Beam Law is the Bay Area's go-to personal injury law firm. Whether it's a car accident, a serious injury, or a wrongful death, they're there to shoulder the legal burden so you can focus on what truly matters: rebuilding, recovery, and taking care of your family. Beam Law is local, and they win, with millions recovered for clients across the region. That's why SF Weekly voted them Best of the Bay 4 times. If you've been hurt or lost someone because of someone else's negligence, call Beam Law at 415-523-5555. 415-523-5555. That's 415-523-5555, or visit hurtinthebay.com. That's hurtinthebay.com, because it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Beam Law, they've got your back, Bay Area.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay, plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
After doing it all, Lazy Boy Furniture takes you from zero to surrounding you with the comfort you deserve. Come try it for yourself at any Lazy Boy Bay Area store during the holiday sale and save 30% on everything, but only for a limited time at your local Bay Area Lazy Boy store.
Want your ad dollars to work harder? With Odyssey Digital Services, you get more than just reach. You get results you can measure. From streaming audio and podcasts to social and display, we target your ideal customers and show you exactly how your campaign performs. Imagine knowing when someone hears your ad, visits your website, website and makes a purchase, or even walks into your store. With Odyssey Digital Services, it's not just advertising, it's proof your dollars are working. Ready to advertise smarter? Contact us at sfdigital@odyssey.com. Your ads turn into action.
Makita's built for the pros who show up early, who don't do shortcuts, only precise cuts. With tools built to last, job after job, year after year. Performance that pays off, because when the job calls for the best, you answer. And when you need the best, you call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
All right, 2 hours down, 1 hour to go. Evan Giddings and Dan Devone. We got callers lined up. People want to get into the Warriors. I got to put a jacket back on, though, Dan. It was getting pretty chilly in here.
Let's do it. Like Ben Stiller in that. What was that movie? Do it. Do it. Do it.
Zoolander?
No.
What Ben Stiller movie are you talking about? He's also
Owen Wilson. Do it.
Are you talking about Rob Schneider? You can do it?
Not Rob Schneider. Anyways.
Well, Ben Stiller, just like yourself, is a massive New York Knicks fan.
Yeah, he is.
Probably pretty happy about the cup. Oh, I did see a video that made me chuckle. So you know how when the Knicks have won
they won it?
When they win anything, they rush the streets of New York and they jump on telephone poles and people are, throwing pizza and stuff like that. So they did a live look at Madison Square Garden after the Knicks hoisted the Emirates Cup. It was just crickets.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about Josh Hart's thumb.
What about his thumb?
Do we not know about this?
Dude, this is a Warriors show.
Maybe you have to live in New York. One of the most strange things that you've ever seen. So they're hoisting the trophy, right? And they're celebrating. And Brunson's holding the trophy. All the players are around. And, of course, Josh Hart is standing right behind Jalen Brunson and inserts his thumb up his rectum.
Excuse me?
Of that of Jalen Brunson. I was like, what are you doing?
Oh, is that what that... There was a Bleacher Report cartoon that kind of came out a day after, and it was having some fun with Josh Hart, I guess, touching Brunson's bum. That's what it was about?
Brunson turns around and is like, bro!
I just saw the video. Can confirm.
You can confirm.
Are you serious? Dude, what are you guys doing out there, man?
Yeah, you're going to bring me into that.
No. Those are your boys in New York, man. You better get them straight.
That's Villanova. That's a Villanova thing. I don't celebrate
Evan, I think
that.
you need to go on another rant against them kids. Them young people.
Why?
I don't know. You've been on one recently. I think you should.
I don't know.
You've been get off my lawn type today.
Yeah, I have. I think Brunson's about my age, though.
The remake of Starsky and Hutch.
Starsky and Hutch. Oh, yeah, Ben Stiller. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
Do it. All right, let's get to some
You're
callers.
so weird. Let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris, who's in Sonoma? Do it. What's up, man?
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
Awesome. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. Listen, all the Kerr bashing, I got something to throw in. Let's look at the championship run from 14-15 through 19. Common thread, a big player who could be the offensive fulcrum in most cases, a rim protector and a lob threat. Bogut, Zaza, David West to some degree, who was terrific, JaVale McGee. The criticism of Kerr is unwarranted. It's roster construction currently. We don't have that. We need that. That's all I wanted to say.
No, appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I lean in that direction too, but I also admit that, again, I do think this team is underachieving right now. I don't think that they're a 2-game below 500 team. So who does that fall at the feet of? To me, it's the coach has got to be involved in that. And I also think we didn't really talk about this, but I think Austin brought it up, and a couple of callers have too, the email that a fan sent to Joe Lacob earlier this week. He responded in 2 minutes, and there was a lot involved in the quick response by one Joe. But part of it was, I think, hinting a little bit at his displeasure with his head coach.
Yeah, I couldn't go there. For me, there's nothing to see here. That was just a guy being Joe Lacob, actually being nice. Like, I'm actually going to reply to you. I don't think Joe Lacob is not sending subliminal messages from some coconut who's randomly writing him on an email chain or is sending it's not a fan sending an email that Joe Lacob is like, well, let me get my message out to Steve Kerr through him.
No, it's not about Steve Kerr, but I do think that Lacob knew that email was anytime you respond to a fan, you have to assume that word is going to get out that that's what you're doing.
Part of him didn't. I think there's a part of him that thought that he was just a one-on-one exchange. It's like, I'll be nice enough and answer this guy.
Yeah, but you're the owner of the team. Also, I think technically it was like a Silicon Valley email address. It was from one of his ventures. Anyways, I think that Lacob knew that was eventually going to get out. And I'm not saying that that was his way of like taking a shot at Kerr, but I think it was his way of sending a message to the fan base that he is pissed and that he wants things to change.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I don't think there's anything really incriminating about it.
You don't think there's a coincidence that the day after Kerr announces that Kuminga's been really good in practice and he deserves to get some minutes? I do think that there's something going on there over the next month. I think they're going to trade this guy, but I do think there is something to, all right, Steve, if we're going to get anything back, a.k.a. to help you coach this team better by getting you a better player, you have to play him at the very least to show somebody something so that his value isn't completely tanked by the time we get to the time we got to move him.
That's so against what Steve Kerr stands for as a coach. I get it.
I agree. Right. But it's like, but help me help you. I know you don't think he deserves to play, and that's fine. But if you don't play him, you're not going to get any reinforcements. And maybe that's why Kerr was also saying earlier this week, which I disagree with, that last year he felt like they had to make a trade, and this year he thinks they have essentially the answers on the roster.
Yeah,
I disagree completely.
That's cuckoo talk.
And maybe it's just coach speak because he doesn't want to bury his guys, but it's like, how could you watch this team for 28 games and believe that? I'm not saying that they can't play better, but that there's a potential Western Conference Finals group there, which, by the way, I thought was possible at the beginning of the season, and I was completely wrong about it.
Well, guess who was part of that beginning of the season?
Horford?
Jonathan Kuminga.
No. I mean before the season. I didn't expect Kuminga to start and help them at the beginning of the year. I was basing it more on how they finished last season and how they played in the playoffs up until Curry got hurt. You know?
No, I hear what you're saying. I still think that going into this season, to me, this isn't I guess maybe a mild surprise that they're under 500, but not really. I mean, come on. We knew it was an aging team, and there were so many question marks about the younger players, and I think the poster child for all of this is Al Horford. Like, if you want me to be surprised or flabbergasted that Al Horford's a disappointment, what? He's dealing with sciatica, an old man's issue? Oh, I didn't see that coming. Come on. I was never in on Al Horford. You're gonna roll the dice with a 40-year-old? I mean, and he's in the pumpkin patch. He's done. Come on.
Well, that's the issue, is the game is only getting faster and the Warriors are only getting older.
Yeah, well, that's their undoing.
That's the problem. And that's something that I guess I can't put at the feet of Steve Kerr, because that was the GM's job. You know, Dunleavy felt like this team was good enough to essentially double down on. And so far, it looks like they're wrong. All right, let's go to...
I'm going to help out Pajemski really quick. And you know I want to do that? Get rid of those black shoes. It's part of the reason why it looks so clunky.
What?
He's got those black high-top shoes.
So?
He looks so slow.
He looks slow. Because he is
Tyler Kolek.
Because he is slow.
If you want a left-handed...
I was actually thinking about this driving in, because I knew at some point you were going to bring up Tyler Kolek. Yeah, okay, he could play. Sure. Cool. By the way, that Cup final game, that was his first ever game scoring double digits. Yeah. And then he followed it up with 16 points the other night.
It's Deuce McBride's role. He doesn't play.
He might play now.
That's right.
He might play now. All right, let's go to Dan, not Devone. Dan, who's in Alameda, wants to talk about Steph and the Warriors. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Awesome, man. What do you got?
So a couple weeks ago, Dan Devone had a guest on. It wasn't you, Evan. In the last 5 minutes of the episode, his guest, I think, made a really valid point, which is just Curry's just a cash cow, and he fills the seats. He plays hero ball, and until they get off of Curry, this team is not going to be able to really develop any kind of team that's going to be able to compete at a high level. Because the reality is, it's always about the money, whether it's sports, business, anything of that nature. I think Curry, Draymond, and Clay, they're just all in it for, they're not in it for the money, but they're all making a lot of money. That's why Kerr coaches differently. Like, you have young players on the bench and they make a few mistakes and they get yanked, but yet Draymond and Curry over the years make lots of turnovers and they never get yanked. It's interesting because on talk radio, and I love your show and I like the show during the week, everybody's looking, in my opinion, for like a micro fix. Let's get this player. Let's get that player. I just pulled up for the heck of it the roster from 2016, right? When they were younger, and they had 8 big men over 6'7". Their roster was Barbosa, 6'3", Barnes, 6'7", Bogut, 7 feet, Ian Clark, 6'3", Curry, 6'2", Festus, 6'11", Draymond, 6'6", Iguodala, 6'6", Livingston, 6'7", Looney, 6'9", McAdoo, 6'9", Spade, 6'10", Klay Thompson, 6'5", and Verjao, 6'11". So, we're talking about in the micro, let's get one big man. We're so overweighted with small guards. And I know talk radio, it's all about let's just do this one thing or let's do this one thing. But the entire league is so much bigger, so much faster, and you can't really blame Latham. But as long as Curry's there and he can sell out that arena night in and night out, and a lot of people just don't know because they haven't played ball, it's like you just can't match up. And then the other situation that happens is that when Curry's in there, they really, most of the time, they get away from playing team ball and they just give it to Curry and he's a black hole and he plays hero ball. But the teams of yesteryear, of 15, 16, 17, they were whipping it around the outside of the key, and they had 2, 3, 4 knockdown shooters. And now, who are their knockdown shooters? They don't really have any. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wondering what your take was on that, and just how different the roster is now. I just don't think there's 1 or 2, 3 players that they can get that's actually going to do anything as long as they have wasting money on Draymond Green, who obviously doesn't want any part of Dylan Brooks because Dylan Brooks might kick his tail. I mean, I don't like Draymond. I think as an organization, the Warriors should have fined him and really shipped him out after he punched Jordan Poole. But it is what it is. So I appreciate the show, and I just wonder your thoughts on those subjects.
Thanks, Dan. Well, I think the Warriors, it might sound weird, but they've always played these 3-guard lineups that everybody hates. The difference is those guards were Klay Thompson, John Livingston. You mentioned Barbosa's a little smaller, but they were guards who are the size of wings. Like, they're bigger players. Now, when they play guards, they're playing guys who are 6'5" and below, so they stand out as being small. But Kerr has always leaned towards, I don't know if you want to call it small ball. I think it's more versatile ball. Like he always, I mean, even if you look at the last championship they won in 22, the starting 5 of Game 6 was Steph, Klay, Wiggins, Porter, and Green. Nobody there is above 6'9", but they don't have all these small guys that the Warriors are trotting out right now. So I think he's always leaned toward players that are smaller as opposed to like a true big. They just don't have, I think, at their best, a bunch of that involved outside of, you got to go back to like Bogut.
Yeah, they're exceptionally small now, but I would agree with you. He's always wanted those interchangeable parts. He wants 3-and-D guys. He wants wings that can get up and down the floor, that can handle, that can do multiple things. That's who Steve Kerr is. That's how he designs, and those are that's the offense, and the system is supposed to fit around these guys. To the caller's point, to everybody's point, you guys are all spot on. This year's it's gotten a little ridiculous. It's not a 3-guard lineup. It's 8 guards, all 6'4" and under, that see time. I'm not saying there's 8 guards on the roster. There's 8 guards that play. And they all get serious run. And that, to me, should tell you everything you need to know.
Well, that's because they don't have any bigs. Like, they got one this summer, and he has sciatica.
Come on, they got one this summer. I mean, Al Horford.
Well, but I'm saying
I know you're right. I'm just saying.
No, like they did go get a big man. They just got the oldest one. They just got the oldest one available. It's like they drafted one in the draft last year. It took a second rounder in post, but they just don't have positional size. We've talked about this a lot, but as much as DeAnthony Melton seemed like a good fit last year, he's still 6'3", and he's coming off a knee injury.
DeAnthony Melton's probably one of the few bright spots, albeit, he's limited with his 20 minutes, but you could see that when they let him go and they expand him out to whatever, 28, 30 minutes a game, that you can see that he fits. That's something to be encouraged about, I think, with DeAnthony Melton fitting in with the Warriors.
Yeah, and he's not shooting it very well to start his first 5 games with Golden State this season, but the other thing, too, is like they have too many guys, I think, play up a position. Will Richards 6'3", but he kind of plays more like a wing. Buddy Hield is a shooting guard.
Oh, God.
But he kind of plays a small forward for this team.
What the hell happened to him? Where is he?
Well, he's on the team.
Are you sure about that?
Giovanni's still on the team. Yeah, he's had his role reduced a little bit.
Well, rightfully so.
I'm nice.
He's going through a bit of a slump right now, Dan.
Perhaps.
It's been a season-long slump. No, sorry. The first game of the season, he scored 21 points. He hasn't scored 20-plus since. He's getting shots up, though.
And he's part of your turnover problem.
Not really.
Well, from what I see.
Well, he makes silly decisions, but I feel like Chavano just gets a bad rap because it's always a time where you kind of need him to make a play, or he has an open shot or something like that, and he just always lets you down. I mean, he's turning the ball over once a game in 18 and a half minutes. It's not terrible. But you're right. At the end of games, you see Buddy Hield out there, and you start quivering.
But this is sort of what he does. He gets trade. He's how many? He's been. I want to say with 8 teams.
Let's see if I can do this out of the top of my head. New Orleans, Sacramento, Philly, Indy, the Warriors. Was that 5?
We can look it up. But it's always
yeah, he's been on 5 teams.
Okay, well, it feels like 8.
Well, he's been on 5 teams in 10 years. It's not. He's also been traded twice in the last 3 seasons.
But
But he's always available.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield has never played less than 71 games. Can you believe that?
Cannot.
Why? Not because he's available, but because he's being used in 71 games. Buddy Hield is the only.
Oh, let's not do Buddy Hield. Let's not do.
You know how many guys on the Warriors right now have averaged 20 points in a season, Dan?
How many?
Steph, Jimmy, and Buddy.
This season, there's. I mean, it's hard to play.
No wonder they're 22nd in offense. Their third leading scorer as far as career goes is a guy who's shooting 32%.
Let me tell you something. This guy is a ball player.
That was about Pods, which apparently if you just give him new shoes, he'll be fine.
He just looks weird. I'm not talking about it, facial dimensions.
Talking about the hair?
The shoes.
He's got a little sideshow bob to him.
He had a good game. What's so funny is a lot of this.
He did play well.
Decision making is really just going to be predicated on where the team's at in terms of their 1-loss record at the trade deadline and how players are playing at that particular time.
Well, that's another
because
problem.
I think he's a guy that, with the emergence of Pat Spencer, I've said this before, that he could be expendable.
I think everyone's expendable when you're below 500 and you're a team that thinks they can compete for a title. Everybody to me right now on the Warriors, and this is where we were last year too. It feels like deja vu, or Groundhog Day. Every time we get to the trade deadline, the last 3 years, you and I have a conversation about who's expendable, who can go, and we always, I feel like, say everyone but Steph. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where they're at right now.
Well, Butler.
I think Butler could be traded. I mean, I'm not saying he will be, but if you're below 500, this is the other thing too. If you have Jimmy, you're trying to win, and if this team ain't winning, then why does Butler? Why is he a factor?
Well, that's sort of my issue with getting Herb Score.
Herb Score. Herb Jones.
Herb Jones.
Oh,
and
he looks old. So he'd fit in.
He's 27.
Yeah, I know, but he's got that old soul kind of deal.
But that's the big that I think. Yeah, listen, how serious and how scary are you in the West, right? If your starting centers are Quentin Post and Al Horford. Nothing against Quentin Post, who's been a fine player, but really, Al Horford and Quentin Post are starting centers. Look out. Here come the Warriors.
Well, they bring Horford off the bench. He plays 20 minutes a game.
Didn't play at all
when available.
That's my point. These are your starting centers. I think Herb Jones is somebody that they might need more so than that of Trey Murphy. But if I'm New Orleans,
you know what?
To your point, though,
fine.
But why? If I'm New Orleans, why am I the guy that I need to trade? Is the 800-pound elephant, both literally and figuratively?
Well, go get him.
No,
Dunleavy?
I'm talking about Zion Williamson's the guy.
I know.
That's the guy New Orleans. Why am I trading Trey Murphy and Jones? I can build around Fears and Derek Queen. I've got some pieces. Why am I moving these guys? It doesn't make sense for New Orleans, does it? Unless I can get somebody to nibble on Zion. Why would I move Trey Murphy to the Warriors?
No, he's been doing a lot of nibbling lately. All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. I see you, Mark, in San Francisco. We're going to get to your call on the other side. Also, hang on, Mitch. I'm going to get to you, Mitch.
Hang on, Mitch.
I promise. Devon's waiting for you. When we come back, we got one segment left on 95.7 The Game.
So, what are you reading?
I'm checking out the ratings on the new TVs, and it looks like Samsung, LG, and Sony got the best scores.
Just like last year. What about those new high dynamic range TVs?
They got the highest scores of all, but their prices are really high.
Did you check online?
Yeah, their prices were about the same.
Well, there's one place where we can get a hot deal on those top-rated models.
Where?
At Video Only. Check out the ratings on TV stores.
I see. Video Only scored better than the others.
So, if you want the best deal on the best TVs,
then we should take our TV ratings and head over to top-rated Video Only.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
From carriage house to glass aluminum doors, R&S Doors has a full line of commercial and residential garage doors and gates to suit anyone's taste and budget. Visit rsdoors.com. R&S Doors. Look for the red truck.
Thinking about selling your house but hesitant to move during the holidays? Imagine finalizing your sale now, enjoying the holidays, and move later. Call Wedgwood Homes to discuss your options. Do you want to downsize, relocate, or selling an inherited property? Does your house need repairs or updates? Wedgwood Homes buys homes as is. No repairs, no commissions, no hassle. Secure your future plans and move forward with a no-obligation, all-cash offer from Wedgwood Homes. Close in as little as 3 days. Or enjoy the holiday season and move after the new year. Skip the stress of a traditional listing that can be slow and unpredictable. Lock in your sale now with a firm offer from Wedgwood Homes with no last-minute price drops like other cash buyers. Call 415-888-9432 for your no-obligation all-cash offer. 415-888-9432. 415-888-9432 or wedgwoodhomes.com. The Bay Area's trusted home buyer.
You know, covering Bay Area sports for years, I've seen athletes go through it all. The highs, the lows, and the pain that comes with getting knocked down. But when it's not just a game, when you're the one injured, or when tragedy strikes someone you love, that's where Beam Law comes in. Beam Law is the Bay Area's go-to personal injury law firm. Whether it's a car accident, a serious injury, or a wrongful death, they're there to shoulder the legal burden so you can focus on what truly matters. rebuilding, recovery, and taking care of your family. Beam Law is local, and they win, with millions recovered for clients across the region. That's why SF Weekly voted them Best of the Bay 4 times. If you've been hurt or lost someone because of someone else's negligence, call Beam Law at 415-523-5555. 415-523-5555. That's 415-523-5555, or visit hurtinthebay.com. That's hurtinthebay.com, because it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Beam Law, they've got your back, Bay Area.
When back to the office means back in traffic.
Left lanes are blocked.
Turn to the traffic leader, KCBS.
Now jammed.
Brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealers. The Happy Honda Days event is on, with the best deals of the year on a powerful new CRV. Only at your NorCal Honda dealers.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and see an amazing selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances live and on display in one of the largest living kitchens in the country. And save with full suite savings event. With qualifying purchase, get 3 additional years of protection or qualify for a $1,000 rebate. For the largest selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances, visit the Living Kitchen at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
Make money predicting sports, politics, culture, and more. Legally nationwide with Kalshi. From sports to Bitcoin, the Oscars, and even politics. If it matters, you can trade on it. Use code Odyssey for $20 when you trade 100. KALSHI.com. Trading involves risk. Kalshi.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No!
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
God, it's getting colder.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Has he done that for us yet? He did that the day I worked the solo show, so I'm sure he'll hop on and do that for you on the Christmas Eve show you got going on. But Pasta's been working on his rejoins, man.
Pasta, we're just gonna get. I mean, there's no rules come Christmas Eve.
I could not find the rejoin page, so yeah, that was what we had to do.
What's going on back there? The production room's been, I don't know, it got renovated like the rest of this place. They finally took the drills and the buzz saws out. You see that table? I told you.
That table.
They're building
really
a new table.
The guy's been working on it for 2 days.
Come on, man.
Better look
I
good.
love how Evan just threw out, yeah, I think they're probably working on a table, and that's what it ended up being, just a table.
I mean, I'm just saying, I was right all along, even though they had rolled out the cardboard carpet. It's kind of strange, to be honest. All right. One segment left here. 888-957-9570 is the number. Warriors This Week.
Yeah.
Don't worry, 510. We're going to get to him in just a little bit. As for the 813.
What was the 510 asking for?
We'll get to it, I promise, because we got someone online.
Is he hanging there, Mitch?
He's hanging in there.
Hang in there, Mitch.
We will get to them.
Hang in there, Mitch.
Hang in there, Mitch. 813, do you revisit Zion? I think you revisit everything at this point. But the problem, Dan, is while you still have Steph Curry on the roster, it feels like there isn't really a move that you can make to go backwards. You know, and I think that's the rock and the hard place the Warriors are stuck between. Is it's almost a blessing and a curse because Steph is still really, really good, that everything you're doing right now, you have to have him in the back of your mind, but you have to have him in the back of your mind as not a player you build around, but a player that you want to help.
Yeah, I would agree.
So, all right, let's go to what?
That's tremendous insight on my part.
Thought you had something there, Dan. We're going to go to Mark in San Francisco. Mark, what's going on? How you
Sports Talk
doing?
Radio, I got nothing.
I'm doing good, gentlemen. You know, the biggest thing I see is lack of firepower at the end of games, not having that other score that you can depend on. Most of the guys they got, some of them are streaky, but we really are lacking a score because that's why we're losing these games. I mean, yeah, we could use a big guy, but I don't think that's the problem right now. We're losing these close games because it's either Curry or nobody else. Butler's good, but you still need another guy. That's what I see.
Do you have an idea, Mark, of who you'd like to be the Warriors' third option?
Well, I mean, somebody like Trey Murphy or Corey Kispert. Those guys could score. They could go without the ball. They got to fit in the offense because that's the kind of motion offense that Kerr has. So they're going to have to be able to go without the ball and shoot.
I got you, Mark. Appreciate the call. Yeah, I mean, look, Trey Murphy would be a nice third option. Is there something, though, was it you that brought up last week that Trey Murphy is this year's Cam Johnson?
No.
Oh, that might have been someone from the week. But
who's this year's Cam Thomas? You can't even move that guy anymore.
Well, I think he's on a qualifying offer.
Really?
But you're just talking about a guy who can score?
No, it's sort of like, well, both Cams have struggled this year. Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas, I guess is what I was trying to say.
I mean, honestly, I think based on the way restricted free agency played out, Giddey was always going to come to an agreement to me with Chicago because there's a mutual want. But the rest of the guys, like has Quentin Grimes made himself a bunch of money? Has Cam Thomas made himself a bunch of money? I honestly think Kuminga, though he's not getting what he wants because he's not playing, but he's making over $20 million this year. He can make over $20 million next year, and he's probably going to get traded to a place that actually wants him. So as much as this year has been frustrating for him, the last 4+ years have been frustrating for him, I think he made the smart move this summer by signing that deal.
Any chance he's with this team after the trade deadline? I think there's a chance.
There's always a chance, but what do you think that would mean?
That would mean that they're going to reassess, free up money over the offseason, including his, and then move everybody. The thing is, though, why that... I mean, it makes sense on some levels, but why it also doesn't make sense is because what's happening right now, this is not sustainable. This is too weird. Like, what are we doing?
What they're doing right now?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. They're not very good.
No, but I mean him. Like, not playing a couple of minutes, and then going out of the... Like, this is just... Like, what have we been reduced to?
Well, the biggest problem is
I don't think this can go. I guess my point is this can't go on throughout the entire season.
He's shown that if you give him enough minutes, and it's always 30 minutes, he can put up numbers. Kuminga has shown that when he's given rope, he has the capacity to play well. But when he doesn't, he really just struggles. If he does not play more than 25 or 30 minutes, he's not an effective player. And that's kind of the problem. It's like, if you have a starting rotation and there's a guy who's the 6th best starter on your team, you'd like to put him in the bullpen. You'd like to make him a middle relief guy. But he can't come out of the bullpen. He just can't find the zone when he comes into games. He's not effective. He's not a strike. Jonathan Kuminga's a starting player who's not good enough to start. It's really weird. And I don't know if it's a mental thing, but
I would blow into his ear and say, hey, just pretend this is Minnesota again. And there's no Steph Curry. We need you to score. Just go. My issue, somebody called earlier and said, oh, you're contradicting yourself. Now you're saying don't fit into the system and just go out and score the basketball. My thing has always been score the basketball. His issue, at least Steve Kerr's issues, I think, are not necessarily in the offensive end. It's defensively. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And still hasn't learned rotation, still hasn't learned to help defense. You know what the good barometer is? Where there are guys bought in defensively, and the reason why Steve Kerr likes Spencer and likes Podziemski and likes guys that are just going to do the right thing and make basketball plays and get on the floor. You know how many charges Jonathan Kuminga has in 5 years? 3.
Wow.
And that should tell you everything you need to know about this guy from a defensive standpoint. He still doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And that's everything. It's not offense. Offense, I still think, if I was his coach or if I was a friend, I'd say, bro, go. You think you could take everybody? Well, do it. What's the worst that's going to happen?
He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it.
Because he's thinking about getting other guys involved. I would say stop that. Don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and then he's going to take a bunch of bad shots, and some of them will go in.
I'd rather have that version of him than me trying to get other players involved, because that's not who he is.
No.
If he was good defensively and learned, if he was Will Richard, or if he had the aptitude and the skill set of some of the other players, like DeAnthony Melton, or you would take your lumps with what it is that he does offensively.
Yeah, but if he's going to become the player he wants to be, eventually you're going to have to make plays for others. Like even wings around the league, like if you're a player who can be a 3 or a 2, just even looking at a guy like Aaron Gordon, who's Kerr's compared his career arc to, Aaron Gordon can make plays for others. He's not one-dimensional, which Kuminga has been for the large portion of his career. All right, let's go to Dave. Dave is in San Jose, has a trade idea for the Dubs. It is trade season, Dave. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks a lot. Can you hear me?
I got you, Dave, loud and clear.
Okay, so what I'm about to say is probably blasphemy to a lot of Warriors fans, but the one player on the Warriors who would reap the biggest
where we trading Steph Curry
in terms of resources is Curry himself. What if it was Curry who requested a trade to another team so he could get another ring and the Warriors could start their rebuild? What if it was Curry himself who requested a trade?
Well, I think, Dave, that would be the only scenario in which he would be traded.
But that would be a win-win. He could go to a team and compete for a ring, which he can't do right now.
But it's not going to happen.
And the Warriors would reap the biggest benefit.
It's just not going to happen. I hear you, and I love you. Merry Christmas and all those things. It's just not happening.
Thanks for the call, Dave. Yeah, I think that's just something. I don't know. Everyone brings it up at least once every year, and I understand you can, but this ain't 2K. This ain't just you don't just trade all-time players. And I don't think that Steph. I think one of the reasons why he is who he is because I don't think he wants to leave.
No, of course not. Well, that's what I mean. It's not happening. It'll happen if Steph demands it. Steph is not demanding it. Steph lives in San Francisco or the Bay Area, and this is where he's thrown down roots. And he golfs here. He's got his home course. This is home, man. And he ain't going anywhere. And it's his call.
I don't think also the Warriors... Also, the Warriors don't have anything to promise beyond him as far as... I think it was someone who brought up earlier the whole box office, the entertainment aspect of things. Bill Walsh is famous for the whole... You move off a guy a year before the year.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. It's easy to move off of Montana, or easier to move off of Montana when you have Steve Young waiting in the wings. It's easier to but move off of Jerry Rice when you have a Terrell Owens on the roster. The Warriors don't have a Young or Owens on the roster. I think the Warriors would be, and this is also a Draymond thing too. I think they'd be willing to think about moving on from Draymond or some of these older players if one of these young guys had shown promise at any point up until now.
Yeah, I'm just curious whether Draymond gets the same white glove treatment like that of Steph.
I don't think he should.
Neither do I.
Steph Curry's the only guy that I think he's the only guy who right now gets to undoubtedly retire as a Warrior. Will Draymond retire as a Warrior? Perhaps. But I'm sorry, if it's not afforded to Klay Thompson, that's just business. And you said it earlier, I agree. I think Draymond understands that maybe more than anybody. And in fact, he was the one who said earlier this year, and I'm paraphrasing, that your agenda is going to impact a team looking at you and how valuable you are. Mm-hmm. And when you're not valuable to your team's going to move off from you. And Draymond this season has not been so valuable to the Warriors, to me, that come trade season, he's untouchable. I know there's been reports out there about, they don't want to include him except for anything involving Giannis. But, why?
I think that's changed. I wouldn't be surprised if at least his name has been mentioned by Dunleavy. You have to check sentimentality at the door when it comes to professional sports. You can't, aside from Steph, you cannot say, can't do this to Clay, can't do this to Draymond. No, if it makes your team better, see ya. Still love you. Bring you back for whatever ceremony. Put your jersey up in the rafters. But
yeah, and that's what's going to happen. They traded Iguodala.
I told you what happened when I was a young sportscaster and Bill Bavasi came out once and held a press conference. And he said, I just want to let everyone know, Edgar Martinez will not be traded. John Olerud will not be traded. Dan Wilson will not be traded. Jay Buhner will not be traded. And this is when these guys were already long in the tooth and no longer productive players. I was like, are you out of your mind? And he was essentially saying they mean too much to the community here in Seattle, where baseball was relatively, young, and these were the first sort of identifiable pieces. And what happened as a result? They all got old and bad together, and it's taken them 25 years to be good once again. Sentimentality has no place when it comes to professional sports. You lose a half step, got to go. Love you, but you got to go.
Well, there are few players to me that deserve sentimentality. You can't extend it to multiple guys, otherwise you get bogged down. They're like anchors. You cannot attach yourself to multiple pieces in hopes of, again, competing or turning a new leaf if you're married to the old guard. And right now, the old guard, Steph, is still playing really, really well. Draymond Green is not. Jimmy Butler, to me, has no allegiance to the Warriors, and the Warriors have no allegiance to him. He was a hired gun last year that helped you get to the second round. I don't know if there's another NBA mercenary that's out there that can do that this season.
There is not.
But when Butler and his contract is up, Butler's gone too.
Is it time for hanging there, Mitch?
Yes, it is. And in fact, this is what the 510 is asking for in the Boxer and Gerson work injury attorneys text line. Guys, great show as always. Thank you. But can we do a deep dive on Mitch and his cat? Was it given to him is it a tabby? Wouldn't it be great if you name the cat Draymond? You can't tell me to pray and not tell me I don't want to know. Have a great weekend. Well, you ask and you shall receive. Let's go to Mitch in New Jersey. Mitch, they want to know if the cat's a tabby. What's up, man?
How we doing? Merry Christmas, Dan, Evan, everybody.
Mitch, back at you.
I got one cat. His name is Woo Woo. Walter, actually. But we call him Woo Woo because this cat chirps. He doesn't meow. Wakes me up twice a night, every night. Runs up and down the bed. Wakes us up. He exercises during the night, sleeps during the day. He's got the life.
What do you call him? Woo Woo?
I'm hoping. We call him Woo Woo.
Woo Woo.
We call him. Yeah. I guess my daughter really probably gave him the name Woo Woo. Because he's always saying "Whoa, slow down, whoa." He's always trying to scratch you. You could be petting him. Eventually, he's gonna want to scratch you or try to bite you. That's his MO. I'm hoping. I would trade Draymond Green for John Collins. I'll be up for that. You got somebody big. We got too many guards. This is not small ball. You got to have a balanced system. I think we definitely got to hold on to our first round picks. I don't want to see them trip picks. And Curry's not going anywhere. You want him to retire. No one wins every year. I don't think LeBron's going to win this year.
Hey, Mitch.
And, this is probably his life.
If Draymond continues to turn the ball over like he did the other night, I'd trade him for Woo Woo. I just wanted to say Woo Woo.
Yeah. Okay. He's a Hall of Famer. I give him that. I never really like his antics, but he's a heck of a player. I give him that. And how can you say you want to be sentimental? You let Klay Thompson go, and you've been better off spending a few extra $1 million. It'd be better. You'd be getting more production for him. And with Kuminga, just give him a shot. Give him like 5-10 games straight. See what he can do. But one guy, if they've been crying to trade him, go for him. I think the Kings. I love to have Malik Monk.
He's not even getting time with the Kings.
He can score.
Well, they have too many guards too. I'd love to see more of D'Anthony Melton. Get more minutes for him. And Monday games would be great. If we lose to Grandpa, which I am, going to be again on Friday. Be a busy week this week, or the next 3 years, 10, 20 years. If you can follow me, I'm sorry. We can't lose the Colts. That would be big trouble.
Hey,
Especially if
Mitch,
the Rams
what do you
lose.
do on Christmas Eve? What do you guys typically do? What do you do?
Should we packing up bags? Oh, we have a dinner.
Can you
Roast
call
beef,
in?
rice.
Dan Devone's got a slot for you, Mitch.
All right, just text me the number. I'll put it on the chat. I'll call. You got a show? That's great.
Yeah, no, call here at the station.
Anyway,
you and Woo Woo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, super. I'd love to talk to you.
Hey, you think I'm giving
thanks
you
for
my
taking
number?
call. No,
Mitch.
not your personal number. Come on.
Yeah,
That's
come
for
on,
you
man.
girls.
So you promise New Year's or Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve. All right.
All right, man.
I'll definitely check in.
That's a tease.
All right. Better be a 49er win.
Me,
Have a nice one.
Mitch, and Woo Woo for 3.5 hours.
Take it easy, Mitch.
Dare anybody not to listen to that.
That's a tease. What is wrong with you?
Hang in there, Mitch. We got to get us some intro music.
It'd probably be like the Godfather theme song.
We got to work some Bo Bichette in there somewhere. Where's Pasta?
What's up with Bo Bichette? No, Pasta's back there. He's just fiddling around.
Wow.
I think we got one more call that we can get to. I could be wrong here, but we got a couple minutes left. I want to make sure that
You want to end it.
Well, I want to get this guy in. His name is that guy in the city. He wants to talk about the
Oh,
Warriors.
wait, that guy? From back in the day, bring this dude in.
As opposed to these guys?
I think that guy is my guy.
What's up, that guy?
Gentlemen, Dan Devone is on the microphone.
You gotta be kidding me.
Merry Christmas, fellas.
Where the hell have you been?
Happy holidays.
Dan, I've been listening to you on the weekends, but I'm so disgusted with the Warriors. You know, I'm a 20-year season ticket holder. Those guys are killing me, man.
No doubt.
Remember I called in? Remember I told you, Dan, now calm down. We're going to be okay. The smarts, the head is going to outlast the legs of the Celtics that in the series. Remember that?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Hey,
I just got you. You know, I'll call in again on Wednesday. What time are you on, Dan?
I'm on from 2 to 6.
He's on all day.
Hell yeah. Hey, Pasta, really quick, give me some freestyle music. Give me a beat.
For that guy?
Yeah, give me something.
That guy's
Give me
going to
something
freestyle.
funky here.
Give him, what do you got, Pasta? Give him something good.
Pasta's searching right now, that guy. Hang on for a sec. Pasta's moving and grooving.
Okay.
He's looking for his page. He's looking for his beat. Pasta. Oh.
You good with that guy? You want something else?
No, that's good. I'll give it to you.
Let's go.
Slow. Okay, ready?
Let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2. Turn me up in the headphones. Where's my snare? Okay, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a holiday jingle to step to. I think of how many weak sports talk shows you slept through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you. But now it's Christmas time and I got the spirit. Shanahan's chilling. The Niners are balling out. And that's what the holidays in the Bay is all about. The time is now. The place is here. And the whole Yay area is filled with cheer. My name is DRE with the mic in my hand. And I'm chilling and cooling just like a snowman. So open your eyes and lend me a ear. Evan and Dan in 95-7 the game. Want to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year!
Hey!
Dan, take it easy, brother.
Boom!
Well done. Well done, that guy. Oh, my God. I feel like that's a mic drop for the end of the show.
Get out.
That's your boy.
We can only screw it up.
Oh,
we say.
That was Warriors This Week with that guy. Oh, Dan Devone, Evan Giddings, and Steven Risotto. Are we back next week? I think we got a hiatus coming up. I think
We got the next 2 weeks off, I think.
Oh.
All right. So we'll be at La Rocca's until 3 a.m.
2
next
weeks?
Saturday.
Wait, so we're not back for 3 weeks?
I know for sure we don't have a show this upcoming week, and I believe we don't have a show the next week after. So we got 2 straight weeks off, I think.
No, we have a show after. Because
Do
when's New Year's?
Well, it's typically on the 1st of January.
No, but I mean, so the 27th would be...
The 27th
would be next Saturday.
Yeah, and then we're back on January 3rd?
Oh, no, we're not. You're right. We're not.
Yeah, so we'll be off
until
the
10th.
27th and the 3rd, and then we'll be back on the 10th.
Okay.
Wow.
Love it. Well,
you guys going to be okay without me?
I'm going to see you on Wednesday.
That's right.
I'm going to be kind of emotional, Dan. I miss you already.
Yeah, you're also going to be doing Warriors Live and Warriors Wrap Up coming up later at 5:30.
We'll be wrapping presents for the next couple hours, Boston.
All right, good stuff, guys. I guess we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. In the meantime, thanks to everyone who called in, especially that guy. That was a great mic drop at the end of the show. Happy holidays, everyone, and Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you in 2026.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went